It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, but on this day, the neighbors meet on the gridiron. Separated by only 10 miles, Michigan and Eastern Michigan University renew a MAC Big Ten rivalry. The Eagles visit the Big House to see who's best in this corner of the state. Who turned on the heat? It feels more like August than October. The heat will be a factor here at the Big House as Eastern Michigan makes the short trip over from Ypsilanti to take on the Michigan Wolverines. Hello again, everyone. Along with Glenn Mason, I'm Mark Neely. There's a very interesting dynamic in play here. And the fact, Glenn, that Eastern Michigan is 10 miles away, and a lot of their kids are from this area.
A lot of their kids. Actually, they have more players from the state of Michigan on their squad than the Wolverines. And add another dozen or so players from the state of Ohio. And if you think those kids aren't excited to play in what they call Michigan Stadium, you're wrong.
Well, they're going to try to stop Mike Hart, who's probably going to set some history today. He's only 33 yards shy of becoming the all-time career rushing leader in Michigan history.
Well, Mark, when you think about all the great rushers they've had here at the University of Michigan, and probably early in this game that Mike Hart's going to go and break the record. History in the making.
And they come out of the tunnel. Here comes Big Blue. Now, the third member of our broadcast team is Lisa Byington. And Lisa, Mike Hart does a lot more than just carry the football.
Mark, you could call him a scout, you could call him an assistant coach. You see, when you're the kind of running back that Mike Hart is, you automatically win the respect of your offensive coordinator. And Mike DeBoard and Mike Hart have a pretty good relationship. DeBoard told us yesterday he goes to Mike Hart midweek and asks him what he sees on tape, what he thinks Michigan should run, what he thinks would work come Saturday. Then on game day, DeBoard finds him in the locker room and at halftime asks him what kind of adjustments he would make. And Mark, when I asked DeBoard, is Mike Hart usually right? He just smiled and said, yes, usually.
Lisa, Mike Hart will definitely be playing, but Mario Manningham will not. He will not play today due to an undisclosed reason. So no Manningham, but the Michigan Wolverines set to go as they take on Eastern Michigan. MAC Big Ten, and the kickoff from Ann Arbor is coming up next. Well, the trees say it's fall, but the heat says it's still summer. Going to have a temperature in the upper 80s today as Eastern Michigan takes on Michigan. 8th meeting all time. Michigan has won the previous 7. All of those have come right here in the Big House. You have to go back, wow, back to 1896, the first time they met. And the last meeting a few years ago was a shutout for Michigan and Lloyd Carr, who's in his 13th season. And Lloyd actually began his coaching career at Eastern Michigan, but now again in his 13th season at the helm here in Ann Arbor. That's Jeff Jinnick, 47-year-old who was born in Ann Arbor, grew up in Milan, Michigan. He's in his 4th season as the head coach at EMU. So we get ready for kickoff. First, to look at our Suzuki keys to this game. There's a lot of different things that Eastern Michigan has to keep in mind.
Well, Mark, you know, Eastern Michigan, they can't have turnovers, and they got to hang around. They got the longer this game goes, and they'll have a chance. And Michigan, they have not started fast this season. That's been a big part of the run. And they got Mike Hart. Run, run, run. Let's break that record early.
Again, Ypsilanti, Michigan, a home for Eastern Michigan University, and literally the Eagles could have taken cabs over here. You're only about 10 miles from one team's stadium to the other schools. Here come the captains for the Wolverines. We take a look. Saw for a moment, saw Chad Henne, who is going to play. He'll start despite the knee injury that he's recovering from.
I'll tell you, Mark, you talk about good-looking guys in uniform. Number 2 and number 77 for Michigan, Grable and Jake Long. There's 2 good-looking guys in uniform you'll ever see.
Chad Henne, native of Pennsylvania.
You know,
ready to start.
You think about Henny being the leading passer in Michigan history. Well, okay. But when you start talking about breaking all the Big Ten records, I think that's surprising coming from Michigan.
Well, they won't have Mario Manningham as a target today. Mario really coming off his best game of the season at Northwestern, but he'll be in street clothes today. Again, not playing due to an undisclosed reason.
And, you know, with Manningham, I think most people around the Big Ten, if you said the word big play Michigan, they would say Mario Manningham. I don't know how they're going to replace him today.
Well, Manningham is out. Michigan, by the way, did win the toss. They have deferred. Big Ten Network football is brought to you by U.S. Bank, home of the 5-star service guarantee. By Cooper Tires, don't give up a thing. And by Buffalo Wild Wings, you have to be here. Well, we mentioned it's hot, and someone who can certainly confirm that down on that field turf is Lisa Byington. Lisa, you holding out so far?
Barely, Mark. It feels more like July than October, but because of the heat, some Michigan people down here on the field told me they expected to get as hot as 100 degrees here today. And because of that, they have 6 misting fans on Michigan side and on the Eastern Michigan side. Now, I talked to Mike DeBoer before the game. He seems to think that it's going to be hotter up where you guys are at, but I seem to think that they send the tough guys down here on the field. What do you think, Mark?
I'm going to go with the last sentence you just said. Yes, I think the tougher folks are on the field. It's a little warm up here as well, but
how about the hot pink shirt she's got on down there, though?
Well, she'll certainly stick out in high definition today. There is Danteo Gage, who's back to receive the kickoff. It's the home Michigan Wolverines in the maize and blue. White and dark green, the colors for Eastern Michigan. And that's going to go a couple of yards into the end zone off the foot of Brian Wright, and Gage will take a knee. Andy Schmidt, 6'4", 230-pound sophomore, starting quarterback for Eastern Michigan. Of those 6 touchdown passes, 4 came 2 weeks ago in a game against 1AA Howard. But he's another one of the many Michigan kids playing here in the big house. Andy Schmidt from St. John's, Michigan. And the first play, they direct snap to Tyler Jones, and he has nowhere to go. Charles Stewart moving to cornerback from his safety position makes the first tackle. So look at the starters for Eastern Michigan. Dan DeMaster is the youngest on that line, redshirt freshman. Pierre Walker will get the majority of the carries. He's from Central High School in Detroit. He's averaging just under 50 yards a game. Now they go to the more traditional formation with the quarterback Schmidt. He's going to keep it. Now he will throw, and it's complete up to the 26-yard line. Obi Izay and Brandon Engelmann on the tackle. That's a gain of 10 for Eastern Michigan. Look at the Wolverines defense on the line. Brandon Graham, 6 sacks, 3 forced fumbles this year. Linebackers, Obi Izay, 1 interception. He makes his 3rd start of the season today. And Morgan Trent, senior from San Diego, 2 picks, 1 fumble recovery on the year. 3rd down and 3. Again, he'll keep it. Schmidt rolling right, looking for the marker. And he's going to have a first down for the Eagles. Picks up 5 and will move the chains.
Well, you know, you can see what he's doing here. We talk about the spread offense. The quarterback becomes the extra rusher in the offense. So when you think you have a 1-back set, you really don't. There's always a 2-back set in the spread offense.
First to 10, Eastern Michigan at their own 34-yard line. First possession of the football game, and the first carry here for the back, Pierre Walker. He gets up to the 40-yard line, so he picks up about 6. Engelmann and Adams again on the stop for Michigan.
Well, we said at the outset, one of the things Michigan, especially defensively, had to do was get a fast start. And with spread offenses, because of all the adjustments that you make, if you don't watch out, your defense plays on their heels. And they have superior talent here. They got to play football, though.
Three receivers, two to the left side. Travis Lewis split out wide to the left at the top of the screen. Second down and 4. And this time Walker again straight ahead. Only picks up a couple. He's going to be a few yards shy of the first down before Brandon Logan tackles him.
Well, obviously, what Eastern's doing right here, they're just executing their base package. They got to be pleased. They're running inside. They're running outside. They had a completion. Things are working right the game plan.
Well, they converted on 3rd down and 3 earlier on the drive, and now they're looking at 3rd and a long 1 from their 43-yard line. Long count. Now Schmidt wants to throw, and that's deflected. Intercepted. Going the other way, Jamar Adams brought down at the Eastern Michigan 29-yard line. He returns the interception, 17 yards. First pick of the year for the senior from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Well, he picks it, but you credit the cornerback, Trent Morgan. He reads it perfectly. He jumps inside the receiver. He doesn't come away with the interception, but he tips it up. Turnover, Michigan.
Morgan Trent has a couple of interceptions of his own this year, and he helps create this one. So Michigan's offense takes the field for the first time today with tremendous field position. The ball at the 30-yard line of Eastern Michigan. Henney, quick throw out to the flat. Greg Matthews inside the 20. He gains 10 yards, close to a first down. Tackled by Andre Hatchett, weak side linebacker.
It seems everybody we've seen runs that play, but we call the bubble screen. And that's because you have a linebacker and he's trying to play someplace in between the pass and the run. If you get him cheating inside, you just throw that little bubble screen out there, and it's nothing more than a sweep.
Chad Henne with 75 career touchdown passes, which is second in Big Ten history, trailing only Drew Brees. They picked up 11, first down and 10 from the 19. Mike Hart, 33 yards shy of the Michigan rushing record, gets his first carry and picks up a couple. Michigan line that likes to clear those holes for Hart. Of course, Jake Long, everybody knows about Jake, but a bit of a reshuffling on the line. Stephen Schilling moves from right tackle to right guard. 4th different starting right guard in 6 games for Michigan. Adrian Arrington, we'll see him quite a bit today with, of course, Mario Manningham not playing for Michigan. And Mike Hart picked up a yard on his first carry, and out comes a flag pre-snap.
Illegal contact on the defense. 5 yards without remaining second.
Dave Whitvote, our referee. Dave Whitvote, the Big Ten. Well, the 5-yard penalty. The ball resting at the Eastern Michigan 13-yard line. And he will give it to Hart. Runs off left tackle across the 10, down near the 8-yard line. Darren Matthews with the stop for Eastern Michigan. Well, that EMU defense features Jason Jones. This is a big-time player from Southfield, Michigan. He has 9 tackles for loss this year. The linebacking core, Daniel Holtzclaw, junior from Enid, Oklahoma. He's 3rd in the nation, averaging nearly 13 tackles per game. And in the secondary, Ryan Downard, the free safety, 3 interceptions in his last 3 starts. First and goal, Michigan from the 7-yard line. Here's Mike Hart. Got to the 5 before he got knocked down there. Darren Matthews, the linebacker, able to knock him down.
They go to the 2-back set with the fullback leading in there, but the same blocking scheme, and now the fullback is just going to pick up the unblocked blocker. You saw him start front side and then veered back to the backside linebacker.
Mike Hart, 3 carries so far, 10 yards, so that leaves him now 23 yards shy of setting the Michigan career rushing record. Those are his season numbers, 797 rushing yards, nearing 800. This time he's going to be dropped for a loss. He loses 2. Josh Hunt and Darren Matthews bring him down.
One thing when you run the zone play you can't allow is penetration. And obviously there was a mistake up front for Michigan there, because with zone blocking, there's only so many gaps and you got them all covered.
So Hart now at a positive 6 yards rushing. And it's 3rd and goal from the Eastern Michigan 6. And Eastern turnovers help set up this drive. Hinney under pressure. And a clear lane for Jason Jones, who picks up the sack, number 2.5 on the year for the 6'5", 270-pound senior.
And Henny's limping, but they split Hart out. They let the fullback remaining and the right guard, and we talked about some of the adjustments that they had. They have new players playing in there. The defensive lineman for Eastern Michigan just swam right by him.
Casey Lapata is going to attempt the field goal from 31 yards off the left hash. Out of the hold is Zoltan Mesko. There's been some question as to who would do the place kicking today, and it's the senior Lapata who knocks it through. And on their first possession of the game, Michigan takes a 3-0 lead. An Eastern Michigan turnover turns into 3 points for the Wolverines. Our Holiday Inn Express scoring drive, 7 plays. They only had to go 16 yards to set up the field goal, which is, by the way, the first career field goal for Casey Lapata. They ate up about 3.5 minutes.
But credit Eastern Michigan's defense coming on the field in a tough situation after the turnover, holding the Wolverines to a field goal. I guarantee you they're excited over there.
Brian Wright to kick it off for the Wolverines. The end-over end kick will come down about a half-yard beyond the goal line in the hands of Dwayne Priest, and he'll scoot up near the 25-yard line. Shakir Edwards making the stop on special teams. Those of you DirecTV, you can find the Indiana-Minnesota game on channel 218, 440 Dish Network. There's a look at the channel lineup. Also Michigan State hosting Northwestern. And our own game here, the 3 offered here on the Big Ten Network. Well, this Saturday in Ann Arbor. And Andy Schmidt in Eastern Michigan gets the football for the 2nd time. Their first possession resulted in an interception by Jamar Adams. Schmidt on the screen pass, complete to Anthony White up near the 29-yard line, picking up 4. And a stop by Obi Ize.
Well, that's what we call the jailbreak screen, Mark. It's the complement of the bubble screen where you throw it and the guy loops outside. Now you send everybody downfield and wide receiver just comes back along the line of scrimmage and you try to seal the outside rush and hit the crease on the inside rush.
2nd down and 6 for the Eagles.
I'll tell you, I'm impressed with the Eastern Michigan, the way they're, with the exception of the interception, which was a volleyball interception, how they're running their offense right now.
And they're looking at 3rd down and 2. Over 33-yard line. Schmidt out of the shotgun. Here comes the blitz off the edge, swings it out, and that's complete for a 1st down. Caught by Danteo Gage, brought down by Trent and Adams, but 1st down, Eastern Michigan. Gain of 9.
Boy, they're putting Morgan Trent, the cornerback, on an island there. He has to take the receiver who's behind him, and then they dump the ball in front of him. It's like 2-on-1 in basketball. That's why some people call this offense basketball on grass.
1st down and 10 at the Eastern 43-yard line. Hand off to Dwayne Priest. Priest off left tackle, picks up a couple of yards.
There's a lot of different offenses and defenses, but I think any defensive coordinator will tell you the key to defending the spread offense is being able to stop the run without having to put too many people in the box. If you can do that, you can make the adjustments outside.
Schmidt throws it across the middle, and that one's complete near midfield. And then DeAnthony White immediately dropped by Ize and Brandon Harrison. Anthony White, a sophomore from Kennesaw, Georgia, Kell High School, who's a guy who's very good with running with the football after the catch, but that time Ize made sure he was wrapped up quickly. Well, it's third down.
Michigan starting to substitute people in there already. They're worried about the heat, and they probably have more depth than Eastern Michigan, let's face it.
Eastern is 2 of 3 on third down so far. This one 3rd and 3 from midfield. Schmidt, draw play, spinning. Walker, ball loose. Who's up with the loose football? Well, if Eastern recovered, they're going to be close to a first down, and they do recover.
Well, you can see it. It's a delay draw, make you think pass, and he goes up the middle, and he's fighting hard, fighting for that extra inch, and loses the ball, but he gets it back. It's like we're... Yeah, he's got it.
The master came up with the loose football, but it's going to be 4th and inches, really, 4th and less than a yard. And Eastern Michigan looking like they're going to go for it, but...
Well, I like this decision here. I like this decision early in the game. What do you have to lose? And they had a little personnel problem right there, but this good decision.
Dave Revson in our Big Ten Network studios want to update you on Wisconsin and Illinois, and the Fighting Illini picking up right where they left off. Rashard Mendenhall takes it in for the touchdown. Illinois on top 7-0 early, Mark.
Dave, thanks very much. We've seen Illinois, been very impressed with them. They're off on the right foot today against number 5 Wisconsin, but Jeff Jennick has decided here to punt now, so he thought about it, and I guess he's changed his mind. So instead of going for it on 4th and inches, there's the snap of a whistle first. Ron English, the defensive coordinator for Michigan, boy, he's been fired up. And now the Wolverines call a timeout.
Yeah, watch here. What happens is Michigan's anticipating Eastern Michigan going for it. They run the punt team on. Michigan tried to get their defense off and get their punt return team. And they call timeout smartly because more often than not, you're going to end with 12 men on the field. And then all of a sudden, Eastern Michigan's going to get the penalty.
Tim Jamison, the defensive end, the timeout called there from the field.
It's easy for me to say sitting up here, it's awful hot, but I'm not under pressure. You always tell your guys in that situation, you get caught like that, just call punt safe. Leave the 11 guys out there. Even in this situation, if you don't field the ball, because you probably don't have your punt returner on the field. So that's kind of a strategic move, coaching move, cost Michigan a timeout. Advantage goes to Jeff Jennick in that situation.
Zach Johnson also does the place kicking, does the punting for Eastern Michigan. Greg Matthews back to receive the punt. A low end over end punt, bounces inside the 10-yard line. Looked like it was touched once. They're going to down it at the 1, but I think that ball was originally touched. Well, we're going to say mark it at the 2. So quite a punt there for Zach Johnson, 46 yards. Let's take a look from
Let's take a look at it right here. Here's the ball. All right.
Well, did he touch it? It was very close.
I would say 5 or 6 yard line from this vantage point, but
well, our principal edge of the game. We mentioned at the top how Eastern Michigan has actually more in-state players than the University of Michigan's football roster does, but big crowd of over 100,000 again here in the big house. And here's Mike Hart. He breaks it up to the 21-yard line, and he was about one more broken tackle from taking that one about 99 yards.
You know, Mark, obviously number 20 is a great player, Mike Hart. Great vision, great strength, great toughness, great moves, great speed he does not have, though. You know, the guy that's going to probably take it 99 yards right there, I'm not sure he's that guy.
A gain of 20 there. He's closing in now on the Michigan career rushing record. Wound up in the slot. Here's the throw. The hitting pass up to the 25-yard line to Matthews, picking up 5 yards.
Well, both passes that they've thrown have taken on the look of a bubble screen type deal. He stopped in motion right there. Two big plays we just saw in that last series. One by the Eastern Michigan punter to put him down on the 1-inch yard line, and then all of a sudden you have Mike Hart bringing it on out and giving them room. Big plays.
Second down at 5. All just across the Michigan 25-yard line. And he will give it to Hart. Across the 30. Makes another move to the 40-yard line, and he has a Wolverines first down before Darren Matthews tracked him down. That's a gain of 14. And with that carry, Mike Hart now with 42 rushing yards in this game, and he has become the all-time rushing leader in Michigan football history. He surpasses Anthony Thomas. Played here 97 through 2000, and the folks in maize and blue on their feet.
Not only an outstanding player, but an outstanding young man. Class.
First and 10 from their 40-yard line. Hinney throws it out to Arrington. He gets across midfield, breaks one tackle, and then is forced out of bounds. It was Lyle Garrison who will push him out along with Andre Hatchett. That's a pickup of 16. And there is Mike Hart, now your new rushing leader at the University of Michigan.
I've brought this up a couple times, but when they had lost 2 straight games, he was the young man that stood up and said, we will beat Notre Dame, I guarantee it. And he's not a trash talker. I mean, that came from the heart, and everybody followed him.
Ball at the Eastern Michigan 43-yard line. Hart runs into Holtzclaw. The linebacker brings him down, but not before a gain of 6 up near the 36-yard line.
Well, they're just running their base zone running attack where every offensive lineman reaches to the front side zone. And then and the thing about it, what makes it tough, they got big offensive linemen. Hart's a short guy. Those defensive guys can't see him behind there. So it's too late.
Invisible. Mike Hart's 5'9", 202 pounds. Senior from Syracuse, New York. Second down at 4. For Mike Hart. Was able to elude one tackler, but then Adam Brockman, the defensive end, was able to wrap him from the side and bring him down. Josh Hunt also caused Hart to make that adjustment on the move, and it'll be third down. Third and about 3. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. A KC Lapata 31-yard field goal, the only scoring so far in this game, as Michigan on their first possession was able to put up points after an Eastern Michigan turnover, an interception on their first possession. Tight end Butler came in motion. Hinney looking in his direction, but just dumps it off. Mike Hart in space, but then at the 31-yard line, nicely brought down by Darren Matthews. A pickup of 5. Adam Brockman also helped out on the tackle, but it was Matthews there in space, got the shifty Hart, but it will be a Michigan first down.
Credit the offensive line there. There was absolutely no penetration by the defense. That enabled Hinney just to sit back there, keep his eyes downfield, find Mike Hart, drop it off, first down.
Hinney now 3 completions for 27 yards. Play fake. Hinney going towards the end zone. Arrington, touchdown, Michigan. 31 yards.
Well, you can almost see that one coming, Mark, because you have Lyle Garrison, number 30 for Eastern Michigan. He's 5'8". It's a mismatch out there. Not only is it a mismatch, but 30 let Arrington get behind him, and then Henny's too experienced. He's going to put that ball high, and he's going to have another touchdown pass to his credit.
Number 76 career for Hinney. And the Lapata point after makes it a 10-0 Michigan lead. 4th touchdown of the season for the senior Adrian Arrington. 10-0 Michigan. Well, during this timeout, PA announcer telling the crowd of over 100,000 officially Mike Hart, the all-time rushing leader now in Michigan football history, and a big cheer We are not worthy. This is a special football player. The handshakes and the hugs, and Lloyd Carr even coming over and giving his congratulations.
Yeah, Lloyd Carr's thinking, great job, I'll miss you next year.
This one coming towards the near side. Gage takes it at the goal line. Cuts across the 20. He's got space across the 30. He's got one man to beat now. Danteo Gage is caught from behind inside the 15-yard line. But Eastern Michigan looking for a big play. They get one, an 86-yard kickoff return before Troy Wolfen finally brought him down.
You know, we've talked quite often why guys don't bring the ball in the end zone with the new rule kicking off from the 30-yard line. He got a crease, and people think Eastern Michigan, you got to remember, they've got good football players. They might not be at a Big Ten school, but these guys can play.
Well, this is not unusual for Gage, the sophomore from Pontiac, Michigan, had a 90-yard kickoff return for touchdown in week 2 against Ball State. He returns that 86 yards, and the ball spotted at the 14 of the Wolverines. With a minute 41 to go here in the first quarter from Ann Arbor. Very late coming onto the field. Tyler Jones sets up in the slot on the right side, and now Eastern Michigan just has to call a timeout. They're second. Some confusion there.
That happens sometimes. You know, you got to go from offense to defense, kicking game back to offense. Everybody's excited, everybody's congratulating, and all of a sudden a wide receiver that's supposed to be on the field, he's still on the sideline. Jeff Jennings, smart move. Let's say with great field position right here. We got to come away with the score. Let's take time out. Let's get on track. Being organized, getting the score is more important than that timeout.
They use their second of their 3 first-half timeouts.
Which gives the Michigan band another opportunity to play hail to the victors, I might add.
Jeff Jennings spent 12 years at Northwestern. He played quarterback at Bowling Green. So the Eagles 1st and 10 at the Michigan 14-yard line. Schmidt hands it off. Priest running left. It looked like he would have made it back to the line of scrimmage before Obi Azay brings him down. And they will give him 1 yard. Picks up 1. Wade Priest, freshman from Roanoke. Picked up 1. A second and 9 at the 13. Play fake. Schmidt has a man open, but incomplete at the 7-yard line. Logan was there on the coverage. The tight end, Ken Bonet, had to reach a bit for the ball, but couldn't bring it in.
Well, you can see here they fake the inside handoff. He comes out on a bootleg with the guard pulling. That's broken. He pulls up, almost hit the guy backside.
So 3rd down and long, 3rd and 9. We're under a minute to go here in the first quarter. 10-0 Michigan leading. With an 86-yard kickoff return by Danteo Gage. He's put Eastern Michigan with a chance to put points on the board. Schmidt will run. He's not going to have the first down. Brought down around the 7-yard line. Izay and Harrison on the tackle. He does pick up 6, but he's going to be about 3 yards shy of the first down.
Base play of any spread offense, the quarterback has to carry the ball. But let's be honest, this is not a Kellen Lewis. This is not a Juice Williams from Illinois. He's more of a Chad Henne type, and it's going to be tough for them to execute that play against the Michigan defense.
Zach Johnson, sophomore from Springboro, Ohio, will attempt a 25-yard field goal out of the hold of Ryan Downer. They'll wind up right about between the hash marks, and that is up and knocked through by Zach Johnson. Second field goal of the season. And Eastern Michigan gets 3 out of the drive. There is a player down, though. Terrence Taylor Junior from Muskegon.
Very unusual to see a defensive player get hurt on a field goal block.
Taylor on his stomach, and the training staff comes out to check him out. We'll see what happened to Taylor here. There's Taylor reaching. Kind of falls on his right shoulder, right arm.
Yeah, typically if you land on your elbow, that's what causes that separation.
Well, we'll step aside. We'll come back to Ann Arbor after this timeout. Terrence Taylor being helped onto his feet. Hopefully a good sign there. He's going to walk off under his own power. He's a 300-pounder. Taylor has a couple of sacks on that front four defensively for the Wolverines.
He looks a little north to 300 to me.
Well, they list him at 308. He's Muskegon.
He's a cheeseburger away from about 325.
He's a big man.
If I could guess right.
Clogs up a lot of space on that defensive line, but looking better now that he's off the field under his own power.
He didn't seem too excited, I can tell you that.
Well,
he's okay.
The points for Eastern Michigan noteworthy, and the fact that here we are, this is the 8th meeting in history between these schools, and in 6 of the first 7, Eastern got shut out. They only scored points in one of those games. That was in 1998. They got beat 59-20. So just putting up points against Michigan has been noteworthy. So with just 11 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, fair catch called for at the 27-yard line by the up man, Chris McLaurin, who's also seeing some time at tight end. You know, that's one thing we didn't mention, but that's the loss of tight end Mike Massey, senior who's out for the year, had a left knee surgery, got hurt in the Northwestern game, and that's a blow certainly for the Michigan offense.
Well, it is, but you know, McLaurin's played. He's played a lot in the 2 tight end offense, and Carson Butler's been a good receiver for him. So it's a loss, but not as big as it would be for some teams.
Hart in the backfield. First to 10 Michigan from their 28-yard line, and Hinney to throw. He finds Arrington wide open. There's a flag down. He's near midfield. He's into Eastern Michigan territory, brought down at the 42-yard line. For Jacob Wyatt came up with the tackle. Gain of 38. Will it stand, however?
Mark, the Eagles are going to have to get number 30, Lyle Garrison, their 5'8" corner, some help. He can't accomplish what they're trying to get him accomplished against those great wide receivers.
Only 5 men on the line. Offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
Well, Garrison got help. Garrison got help from the Michigan offense. Yeah. But you know, they're throwing the ball outside because they have one-on-one matchups out there. And here's number 30. You can see he's given 16 some room. He has to. 16's too fast for him and too quick for him. Too much. He's such a better athlete.
Adrian Arrington has a touchdown reception in this game of 31 yards. We've come to the end of the first quarter, though, here in Ann Arbor. And it's the Wolverines leading the Eagles 10-3.
You're watching the Big Ten Network.
That's Eastern Michigan corner Lyle Garrison, who's 5'8". He's been having some issues covering Adrian Arrington. Garrison has come out. Now Kevin Long, who's 6'1", takes over at that corner spot. And the first play of the second quarter, a pass to Carson Butler, the tight end, up to the 32-yard line for a gain of 10. Brought down by Matthews. Now to the studio. Let's get it up.
Okay, Mark, Northwestern having some success on the ground early against Michigan State. Omar Conte, his second touchdown of the day, but the Spartans start the second quarter inside the Northwestern 5, down 13-6.
Dave, thank you very much. Here in Ann Arbor, early second quarter, 10-3 Michigan leading Eastern Michigan. And Henne brings it back down, throws it across the middle. He stays perfect on the day, finds Mike Hart, who has a first down up near the 45-yard line. Hatch it in long on the tackle. That's a gain of 12. Let's check it down on the field. See how Lisa's holding up. Lisa?
Well, I found a friend down here on the field, John Beeline, the new men's basketball coach. He says this is his 5th ever Michigan football game, and you're a big Michigan fan. How does this environment compare to West Virginia, where you came from?
I think both environments were great. This is double the size of the Coliseum at West Virginia, and the enthusiasm is incredible. So I love college football, so this is a big part of it.
West Virginia is somewhat of a football school. Everybody knows that Michigan here, football is a priority. How does a basketball guy fit in a place like this?
Oh, that's not. I don't ever see that. I don't think people from the outside see this as being a football school as much as people remember all the great Michigan basketball teams. And that's my job right now. That's what I was hired to do, to come in and bring Michigan basketball back to national prominence.
You've been here long enough to see your team go through some conditioning and some workouts. Are you bringing a culture change, and if so, how?
Well, I think Tommy Emiker did a great job at bringing it to a certain level. Now I have to do the next level. Yeah, we're trying to get our kids to realize what overachieving is, what it means to be your best and live at your best. So gradually we'll get that all done, but it's going to take some time.
All right, we're going to take this play real quick. Thanks, John.
Lisa, thank you. Greg Matthews deep down the near side, but incomplete inside the 20-yard line of Eastern Michigan. So Chad Henne, who was perfect his first 6 passes, now is misconnected on his last 2, but this one was close to being a big gainer.
Well, the game plan of Michigan is unfolding here. During Lisa's talk with the basketball coach, they went after 27, which is 30's replacement. They dropped the ball. They came back to the other corner and threw it deep. They have to get some help to those corners out there, but the problem is if they do that, they can't get help inside to stop Mike Hart.
3rd down and 10. And he now 6 of 8. Nearly 80 yards passing. He's going to try to add on to that. He throws. It's complete. That's Arrington, who has a first down to the Eastern Michigan 33-yard line.
Pretty good defense. Well-executed offense.
It's a gain of 23. Derek Hunter eventually made the tackle. That's now 71 yards receiving already in this game for Adrian Arrington. Without Mario Manningham playing, we certainly expected Adrian Arrington to see the football quite a bit, and he has. Averaging nearly 24 a catch today. The 1st and 10 Michigan at the 33 of Eastern. Henne has time. He throws, going towards the end zone. Intercepted. Ryan Downard with his 4th interception in his last 4 games.
Well, Henne threw that ball in the middle of the field, which was able to safety on the other hash come over there. You've got to run that guy. You can see it, the receiver's running up the hash. You don't want to bring him in the middle of the field. And you can see he leads him inside there.
Junior Hemingway, a freshman, was the intended receiver, and you see Henne get hit just as he threw. Will Johnson put a lick on him.
I'm not sure that Chad ever saw the other safety there. So he was in the middle of the field, and that wasn't that far off the hash. So did Eastern Michigan.
Adam Brockman, who put the hit on it as he threw. So it's 1st and 10. The Eastern Michigan 20-yard line, and that running play doesn't go anywhere for Pierre Walker. In fact, he'll lose 3 yards.
See, here's what Michigan's doing. You'll see the defensive backs move around. They give a 2-shell look, and then right before the snap, they walk a safety down, and they're guessing that Eastern's going to run the ball, and if they do, they have an extra guy in the box. It becomes a guessing game.
Loss of a couple, 2nd down and 12. Flag had a man moving forward in motion when the snap came, and the ball is almost intercepted by Jamar Adams. And this is going to go against Eastern Michigan. Illegal shift.
Illegal shift. 2 men in motion. Offense. The penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Michigan refuses it, and it will be That's 17 yards shy of the first down now. Here's another look. You see.
Well, you can see two guys moving. We've seen that a couple weeks in a row now. They've made some rule changes in college football, but that's not one of them. You do that, defensive coordinators will all resign, I promise you.
3rd down and 12. Schmidt hands it off, and the safe run inside Dwayne Priest, and he's going to have a first down for Eastern Michigan up near the 35-yard line before Tim Jamison, the defensive end, came to bring him down, but it's a gain of 15.
Well, Ron English will not be happy. Lloyd Carr, being an old defensive coordinator, really won't be on it. I mean, you got him right where you want him. Defense, that's your job. Get off the field. Go get a drink of water. Put the offense back out there. Both times they've run that delay draw. First time had potential. That time worked like a charm.
First down for the Eagles at their 33-yard line. They trail Michigan by 7 here in the second quarter. Stumbling. He stayed on his feet, but will pick up a couple of yards. Obieze and Jamison also on the tackle. 12 minutes to go here till halftime. Jamison needs a little help with that left shoulder pad. Needs to get that tucked in. Senior from Riverdale, Illinois. He's the top returning defensive end this year. Of course, Michigan lost some good ones. Lamar Woodley. One that pops right to mine. On 2nd down and 8, the throw, he completed it to the tight end. Bonet underthrew it. He was able to make the catch up at the 44-yard line. He will have a first down after a pickup of 9. So Eastern Michigan moves the chains again.
Andy Schmidt is not a dangerous runner, but he's pretty nifty back there. He got the guy to come up, he stopped and threw it over his head. The old game like monkey in the middle. You know, that's what it's at.
Saw the rush by Zay, the linebacker, going after Schmidt, but it's 1st and 10 from the 44. Schmidt out of the shotgun, play fake, pumps. He's going to go deep down the near side, and it's incomplete at the Michigan 17-yard line. Brandon Engelman was there on the coverage. Tyrone Burke, the intended receiver. Right near the sideline. Yep, Engelman made the clean play there.
Mark, there was absolutely no rush by the defensive front four of Michigan. They stood up. They're just watching the quarterback back there, which kind of surprises me because, again, Andy's not a threat to run the ball.
2nd down and 10. Play fake again. Schmidt unloads it, looking for the tight end. Adams on the coverage of Ken Bonet. Back down to the field. Let's check in with Lisa.
Well, Mark, quarterback Andy Schmidt hails from St. John's, just a few miles away from Central Michigan, but he chose to go to Eastern Michigan because he wanted the challenge of trying to change the culture here. If he succeeds with that, it wouldn't be the first time he did that. In high school, he took St. John's to its first state finals appearance, and his high school coach, Dave Marangi, thinks that he is just the 2nd player out of the high school to play Division I in the last 25 years. He said he's a kid who wanted to be good and put in the time.
Lisa, thanks. And Schmidt has battled some injuries, shoulder surgery most recently, and this time he is sacked. Tim Jamison takes him down for the loss of 6.
Yep, best pass defense is a pass rush. Quarterback can't complete it while he's laying on his back. Eastern Michigan has been doing a pretty good job, Mark, up to this point, but that's a big loss. Now we start playing the field position battle.
Zach Johnson to punt it away. His first punt went 47 yards. Greg Matthews back to receive the punt. And the punter stumble. There's the fair catch made. Actually, the knee down at the 25-yard line. A couple of things going on there, as you saw Johnson hit the turf after just getting the punt away, which goes for 36 yards and no return. Another look at Johnson, who got it away. Minimal contact, did some acting. No flag, and it's Michigan football when we come back. hot Saturday here in Ann Arbor on this early October day. 10-3 Michigan as they have possession of the football here. And there goes Mike Hart. He rambles up to the 40-yard line. Hart picks up 14. Well, when they've gone to the air, it's primarily been Adrian Arrington, our Cargill passing combination today for Michigan. Henney, 7 for 10, 102 yards passing. And then Arrington has 3 receptions for 71 yards. Our Cargill passing combination. Mike.
Every time they go deep, O'Mara Manningham's sitting on the sideline thinking, man, that should be me.
Arrington has a touchdown catch today. Mike Hart bounces it off left tackle, has a hole, pushes it across midfield out of the Eastern Michigan 49-yard line. Another gain of 11 before Andre Hatchett and Eric Young stop it.
Mark, watch Mike Hart. He just picks his way here. There's zone blocking up front, and he's got quick feet, reads the block, gets outside, significant yardage.
Mike Hart, who's already become the all-time rushing leader in Michigan history earlier today, has 75 rushing yards. Hart can't turn the corner. He leans forward to get back near the line of scrimmage. Let's get another update from the studio. Back to Chicago, and here's Dave Refson.
A marked tight one in East Lansing, Northwestern and Michigan State. Javon Ringer. First play of the second quarter goes in for the Spartans. Both teams have missed an extra point. It's tied at 13.
Mark, you know, a lot of people, when you're outmatched, you want to slant and angle your front. Against the zone team, if they do a good job of picking it up and you have a back that can read where you picked it up, he'll find the crease and it makes it worse for the defense.
Great pass out to Matthews. Runs into a couple of tacklers before he's pulled down at the 44-yard line by Darren Matthews, strong side linebacker. So Matthews tackles Matthews, and that's a gain of 6.
Sometime on that quick pass to the outside, Michigan actually has a run call. And if Henney sees that the defensive back is back too far, he has the option of just making eye contact with the receiver and throwing it out there. Everybody else thinks it's a run.
Third down at 5. Butler, the tight end, in motion. And Henney with time, throws to the far side. He's got a man wide open. The completion to Junior Hemingway, a freshman. First down at the 20-yard line of Eastern, a pickup of 24.
Well, they make this one look easy. They come with a line stunt, they pick it up. Henney's thrown this pass a million times. Just a little, putting the guy sitting down in the flat, and you put the inside receiver on what we call a post corner flag route, wide open.
Hemingway from Conway, South Carolina. Wolverine coaching staff very high on that freshman. First and 10 from the Eastern Michigan 20. And he hands it to Hart. Crashes into the linebacker, holds claw, and up to the 15-yard line, picks up 4. Matthews helped out Holtzclaw on the stop. Number 44, Daniel Holtzclaw from Enid, Oklahoma. Came in 3rd in the nation in tackling, averaging nearly 13 per game. And an interesting find for a kid from Oklahoma to wind up at Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, you got Tulsa real close there. You got the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. You got the Sooners. You got Kansas and Kansas State. You got a whole bunch of schools down there. They missed on him.
Second down at 6. Even on the ground, Hart, big hole inside the 5-yard line. Another first down. It'll be first and goal. A pickup of 12. 90 yards rushing now for Mike Hart.
Some guys are good zone backs. Some guys aren't. This guy's a great one. You know, I think, Neely, you could have gained 4 or 5 yards to that hole, though.
Maybe not, but that was quite a hole. He about faked Ryan Downard out and got into the end zone.
Yeah, good blocking.
Averaging nearly 7 a carry so far today. First and goal at the 4. Mike Hart untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Wolverines.
He found the soft spot. They're running to the left. Now, why do you think they keep running to the left?
I think there's a very good reason that there's a 6'7" left tackle that goes about 315. That's about the best in college football over there at Jake Long.
I don't know what a left tackle in football, college football, is supposed to look like, but I got a sneaking suspicion it's Jake Long.
Jake Long was the Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year last year, ahead of like Penn State's Levi Brown, Wisconsin's Joe Thomas, and he missed it. A chance for points here for Eastern Michigan, and they can get 2 points here on the return. Ryan Downard. It's going to go the other way, and Eastern Michigan. There is a flag down near midfield. Jason Jones was the one who got a hand on it, and then Downard took it the other way. But let's sort out the laundry and see if this is going to stick. 2 points for Eastern.
The flag is for a sideline warning on Michigan. They're first. The point is good.
2 points for Eastern Michigan. Ryan Downard, who already has an interception today, returns the block point after attempt. There's big Jason Jones who got the hand on it. And Downard gives Eastern Michigan 2 points. And it's a 16-5 Wolverines lead.
You're watching the Big Ten Network.
16-5 Michigan with 6:56 to play till halftime. The point after attempt. Long trying to block Jason Jones, but big number 83 puts up the left hand. And that set in motion this 97-yard return for the 2-point conversion for Eastern Michigan.
Mark, if we found frustration in the meeting with Lloyd Carr today, it was about place kicking.
Danteo Gage lets it bounce in the end zone. A touchback. Gage is the returner who brought it back for 86 yards earlier in the game. First and 10, Eastern Michigan. Jason Jones, who has the towel over his head. 6'5", 262 pounds from Southfield, Michigan. And there's a lot of people who know about Jason Jones. This is a big-time player, and he made a very good play on the point after attempt. Eagle offense back on the field. And Schmidt from the shotgun. Going to swing it out in the flat. Complete up to the 25-yard line. Morgan Trent on the stop of DeAnthony White. A gain of 6.
Well, here Eastern Michigan caught the Michigan defender playing halfway in between that inside receiver, trying to fake that he was coming, coverage, back faking again. He came. They threw the little bubble screen out there. Good play.
Looking at Chad Henney's right hand. You saw Ryan Mallett there a moment ago. Of course, he's seen some playing time this year due to Henney's right knee injury. Schmidt wanted to throw right, now rolls right. Pushed by Johnson and just delivers it up near the seats. Incomplete. Well, it's the show for all Big Ten fans, featuring highlights, analysis, interviews, and much more. The Big Ten tonight, every night, right here on the Big Ten Network. There's some kids with that dark green on. They're getting lost in all the maize and blue, but they stick out well in high definition. Brandon Logan, you saw him, number 46, taking one of the linebacker spots today for the Wolverines. Here comes the blitz off the edge. The pass complete up to the 31-yard line. It's the tight end, Ken Bonet. And that's going to be a first down, gain of 5.
Moving the chains, keeping the ball, executing the offense, base plays. Doing a good job.
Andy Schmidt, sophomore quarterback from St. John's, Michigan.
We have a mismatch in talent here, Mark, but sooner or later, Eastern's got to go downtown. They got to make Michigan play honest on the deep ball.
From the Eagles' 31-yard line, play fake. Schmidt rolls it to a man open for a moment, but at the 40-yard line complete. We'll see if they give him forward progress for Travis Lewis up near the 35-yard line, and they will. Now, those of you who want to take a peek at some of our other Big Ten Network football games, Channel 218 on DirecTV. It'll take you to Bloomington, 220 to East Lansing, 440 and 439 respectively on the Dish Network. 3 games going on currently here on the Big Ten Network. And there's where you can find them. 5.5 minutes to go till halftime. 16-5 Michigan. 1st and 10 for Eastern. Play fake. Schmidt to throw. He's going to cut it upfield. Slide. Still take a hit. He's down at the 47-yard line. He picks up 6. Mentioning all the different outlets, channels you can pick up Big Ten Network football. We'd also like to offer a special welcome to our new distribution partners, Service Electric Cable TV and Communications, and their subscribers in the beautiful Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, and in New Jersey, Hunterdon County and Phillipsburg.
Beautiful New Jersey.
Your home state. Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report coming up shortly with a little over 4.5 minutes to go here. Schmidt out to the back. Priest. He gets to the Michigan 42-yard line before Jamar Adams pulls him down, but it's another first down for Eastern Michigan. That picks up 12 yards.
Great misdirection play there. You think they fake to the back. Quarterback comes out in the bootleg, and then he throws back to the back. Great execution. And you saw Andy Schmidt sell it with his eyes. He had all the Michigan defenders looking to their left, and he threw it back to their right.
1st and 10 at the Wolverines' 42-yard line. Schmidt going to stay in the air. Complete at the 35-yard line. But Brandon Engelman immediately drops Travis Lewis, a pickup of 8.
You can see the corner coming. They've got a blitz, which means they're going to have a soft corner regardless if they're a man coverage or if they're a zone blitz, which that was. And it's a gimme. As long as the receiver comes back to the ball and the quarterback puts it on the money, you got a reception.
Gage on the reception there, setting up 2nd down and 2. Clock running with 3:40 left till halftime. And then a jump. Terrence Taylor.
Illegal contact prior to the snap, number 67, defense, 5 yards. Foul reserves. First down.
Well, the first down via the 5-yard penalty. We saw Taylor shaken up earlier today. Went off under his own power, back in there, and now will return to the sidelines. So the first down, and the penalty puts the ball at the 29-yard line of the Wolverines.
Coach Carr saying, you've got to be kidding me. You move on the ball, nothing else.
From under center, pass swung out, but nothing there for Jones. Morgan Trent read that, and they stop him for a loss. Morgan Trent, senior from San Diego, and that's a loss of 8 yards.
Well, the important block on that play always is the block of the wide receiver on the corner. It's a tough block. Sometimes it's an all-day block. You got to pack your lunch. He had no block there, and that receiver was lucky to hold on to the ball.
Corey Stone, the receiver wide to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Lewis split out wide to the left. Again, a bit of a jump. That one time it looked like Crable. Was he enticed to come across? Let's get the call.
Defensive in the neutral zone, number 2, causing their offense to move 5 yards. Down man 2nd.
Penalties hurting Michigan. Lloyd Carr and Ron English, I'm sure not happy with the defense right now.
You can see the frustration on Lloyd's face. I mean, they've got to play better defense. Everybody thinks they should be playing better defense, but it's, you know, we're getting to the midway point of this year, and they're not playing better defense here.
This is the 9th play of this drive for Eastern Michigan. Clock rolling under 2.5 minutes left till halftime. And they're going to take the direct snap this time to Tyler Jones up to the 24-yard line. This is an interesting player, Tyler Jones. He was in the quarterback competition with Schmidt in this spring, and then in the summer camp lost that battle, but then they said we got to keep this kid playing, and they have him at a wide receiver spot, and that time takes the direct snap.
You see the block by number 50 for Eastern Michigan. Really a good block on the linebacker and let the back split him.
TJ Lang, the left tackle, number 50, opening that hole for Jones. And it's 3rd down and 5 from the 24. Schmidt, dangerous pass, incomplete. He was looking for Travis Lewis, but Morgan Trent, they're manned up on him.
Well, I said it earlier, Eastern Michigan's got to go deep. And I would stay away from running that short route or inside route or slant route against Trent Morgan, because he jumps it, he reads it well. They need to throw out there and pump that and take it deep. And if he doesn't have help over the top, it'll be a score for Eastern.
Zach Johnson, the sophomore, is going to attempt a 41-yard field goal out of the hold of Ryan Downard.
There's an unusual face mask there. Must be a kicker's face mask.
It is away, and it is through. Zach Johnson knocks it home. And hey, look out, the Eagles hanging around. 16-8, Michigan. A minute 35 to go till halftime. Michigan 16, Eastern Michigan 8. It's a hot day. Very summer-like here, upper 80s. Folks trying to stay cool any way they can here in the big house. And right now, I think Eastern Michigan is giving quite a few of the folks in maize and blue some headaches.
Well, you know what the Eagles are thinking? Let's play some good defense, and if we can go in at halftime, 16-8 down. Darn good job.
Taking it to 21-yard line. Rolling up to the 35. Into the up in there. Dwayne Harrison making the stop of Obieze. And let's see what Chad Henne and the Wolverine offense can do with a minute and a half to go. He completed his first 6 attempts. Now 8 of 11. He has a touchdown pass to Arrington and 1 interception.
Well, we got 30 back on the field. A little corner. If I am Mike DeBoard and Lloyd Carr, I'm going deep.
Harrison there at the bottom of your string, 30. Lined up with Arrington. Here comes the pass that way, and Arrington wrapped up. Nope, almost got away, and then finally pulling it back at the 30 is Lyle Garrison, using every inch of that 5'8" on the 6'3" Arrington. Forward progress will give him a gain of 4. They went right after him, Coach.
Yeah, you know, he's got help behind him because he's got a half safety, but I don't think that half safety can help him by playing right on the half.
Henne just dumps it over near the sideline. Apparently he got far enough over. That's not intentional grounding. Stops the clock with exactly a minute to go.
Well, we keep saying it. Best pass defense is a pass rush. Easier said than done, but they're getting it done here. Now interesting. Now it's 3rd down and an incomplete. Stop the clock. If the clock is still running after it's done a 1st down, Eastern Michigan's going to use a timeout, and they're going to get the ball back with some time.
3rd down and 6 for the Wolverines at their 38. Carson to tight end in motion. Henne finds Matthews, but he's going to be well shy of the 1st down. Yanked down at the 39-yard line by Daniel Holtzclaw, the middle linebacker. It's going to be 4th down. 4th and about 3. Michigan will punt.
4th down and 3.
I'm surprised Eastern isn't using a timeout right now, because Michigan's used the full amount of the clock. They only have 1 left, but they're losing a lot of time right here.
They're letting it run. This is going to be the first Michigan punt of the game. Relatively short punt. Fair catch called for at the 25-yard line. It's a 34-yard punt and no return. But now only 11 seconds remaining here in this 1st half.
Yeah, you wasted a lot of time there, Mark.
Does it take a shot or take a knee and head to the locker room?
11 seconds. I'm going to play it safe. I'll go in there. I told you before that last series, I'd be happy 16-8.
And they will take a knee. Nobody's going to stop the clock, and that's going to take us to the end of the 1st half. Well,
and the faithful aren't too happy right now.
Jeff Jinnick Seems pretty happy with his troops. At least that's what I'm interpreting there. And I don't think Lloyd Carr is all that excited about the first half performance of the Wolverines. Back down to the field. Here's Lisa Byington.
Lloyd, a 16-8 margin here. What concerns you the most about this 8-point margin?
Well, I'm just concerned that offensively we've given up. Our quarterback has been hit, caused an interception, and then we got had to settle for a field goal in the first quarter, so we missed a couple of opportunities, and we gave up a big play in the kicking game. 2 big plays.
On a brighter note, how special was it for you to watch Mike Hart do what he did in the first half?
Well, you know, he's had a great career.
All right, thanks, Lloyd. Eastern Michigan still hanging around, Mark.
Indeed they are, Lisa. It's a one-score game right now. We're at the half here in Ann Arbor. Wolverines 16 and the Eagles 8.
Welcome in the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Great to have you with us. Dave Remsen alongside Jerry DiNardo and Howard Griffith. Last time Illinois beat ranked teams on back-to-back weekends was never. It has never been done in school history, but they beat Penn State last weekend and tried to knock off number 5 Wisconsin today. And Champaign and the Illini have come out on fire. Richard Mendenhall just been fantastic. 26-yard gain here for Illinois. This is a team averaging 256 yards per game on the ground, and Wisconsin absolutely cannot stop them. It's a pitch to Mendenhall here, and he goes 32 yards for the touchdown. Mendenhall, the nation's 11th leading rusher, piling up some impressive numbers, going over 100 yards in the first half for the Fighting Illini. Then it's Juice Mendenhall, yet another touchdown, his second of the game. The Fighting Illini kick the extra point. They go up 17-0 at that point. Mendenhall with 105 yards rushing. To this point, it is 17-3 right now in favor of Illinois, although Wisconsin is driving late in the first half. But still, Howard, really impressive display by Illinois on the ground, stopping this Wisconsin rushing attack. What's jumped out the most to you?
Well, the way they've played defensively. When you look at this Wisconsin offense, they have not been able to get anything going with the running game. We thought they'd have a chance to be able to run the ball. They haven't been able to do that, and that's affecting Wisconsin's passing game as well.
And Illinois' running game looks a lot like Michigan State's running game looked a week ago against Wisconsin. They can crease them up inside, and they're fast enough to get outside of them. And the numbers tell you one thing, but the one thing I'm watching is Illinois is more physical and out-hitting Wisconsin all over the field.
I mean, is it fair to say that this game really hasn't been close?
It's fair to say.
It hasn't been close.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Illinois has been far superior in all phases of this football game.
They're out-hitting them.
Yeah. I mean, it's a remarkable transformation. What Ron Zook has done in Champaign. It might culminate in their first win over a top 5 team since 1989 if they can hang on in the second half. Meanwhile, a couple teams trying to get back on track after losses last week. In fact, Northwestern's lost 3 games in a row coming into their game with Michigan State, but Cats looking good on the ground early. Omar Conte, his second touchdown of the game. Michigan State answers Javon Ringer, going 5 yards for the touchdown, but the Wildcats have just answered with a touchdown of their own just before the half. C.J. Bache hitting Ross Lane. This one has just gone to the break with Northwestern on top of the Spartans 20-13. For the game you're watching, Eastern Michigan and Michigan. Pick it up in the first quarter, and here is Mike Hart. Passing Anthony Thomas becomes Michigan's all-time leading rusher for his career. Same drive, Chad Henne, Adrian Arrington. His 4th touchdown catch of the year. Michigan on top, 9-0. But Eastern Michigan has hung around. They blocked an extra point, brought it back for a 2-point conversion. They've kicked a couple field goals, and it's only 16-8 Wolverines at the break.
Yeah, I think we've seen this show before. Hart's the whole team right now.
Minnesota and Indiana. Kellen Lewis to James Hardy. Hardy's 8th touchdown catch of the year. The Hoosiers go on top 7-0. Ensuing drive, though, Minnesota, a good job offensively. Check out that fake by Adam Weber. Gophers tie it up at 7. This is the dimension that Weber adds, guys. Good running quarterback.
Does a good job of really being able to get the ball out on the perimeter, can throw it, and did a good job running at that time.
The Hoosiers have kind of taken over, though, down the stretch here in the second half, as I got a couple field goals from Austin Starr. Brian Payton with his second touchdown run of the game. So Indiana on top 27-13. So we saw Illinois looking dominant in the first half against Wisconsin. Not the case with Michigan. What's going on with the Wolverines here?
Well, they just look like they're out of sync. I mean, I thought it wouldn't be easy going into this game, but I thought they would look better. And then to get a field goal or an extra point blocked, I mean, they don't look like a good team.
Well, there's just a lot of sloppy play, something that they've been doing consistently all year. They really have to get that rectified. This is a game that they should be going out and dominating, and they're not getting it done right now.
The kicking game has just been abysmal for Michigan this year. They made a switch at place kicker today. It really hasn't paid off at all for them. The other game that's interesting, Northwestern on top of Michigan State. How have the Wildcats taken the lead?
Well, they've run the ball, which has really kept Michigan State off balance defensively. I'd say that's the one thing. And Michigan State has hurt themselves with penalties. I don't want to say it's the same old Michigan State, but there's a couple elements in there that lead you to believe it could be.
Starting to smell a little like it, but you really have to take your hat off to Northwestern. They're running the ball and finding out that they can have some success doing it. Let's just see if they'll continue to do it.
They had some success early in the second half against Michigan, as Wolverines fans know, last week, and they were not able to continue running the ball for whatever reason, just chose not to. We'll see whether they do in the second half. We'll get you more of the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report, get you ready for this afternoon's games in a moment. Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Dave Refson with Jerry DiNardo and Howard Griffith. I want to get you ready for some of the Big Ten games this afternoon and this evening. And probably the most intriguing one, guys, happens tonight. It's the Battle of Unbeatens in West Lafayette between Purdue and Ohio State. We've also got Iowa and Penn State at 3:30 p.m. Let's handle the second game first, because you got two ranked teams here. This is a game where both these teams feel like they've got a shot at winning the Big Ten title and trying to establish themselves as one of the front runners today. Howard, the big question seems to be whether or not this Purdue team can handle the physical nature of Ohio State. What do you think?
I don't think they'll be able to do it. And one of the points of emphasis this offseason was to get stronger and better at the point of attack. But when you talk about this Ohio State offensive line averaging 6'6" and 316 pounds, this is going to be a tough test for this undersized Purdue defensive line.
Purdue and Corey Sheets are going to have to run the football to give Purdue a chance to win. This is the #1 offense in Purdue against the #1 defense in Ohio State in the conference. And although Purdue makes most of their yards throwing the ball, they've got to be able to run it efficiently enough that Ohio State defends the run and the pass. Otherwise, it'll be a one-sided game.
Well, it's easier said than done. I mean, 35 3-and-outs Ohio State has forced so far this year. What's the key for Purdue establishing that run game?
Well, they're going to get in the spread formation. Corey Sheets is at his best from the spread, where the defenders of Ohio State won't be all that close to one another, and they'll give him the ball, and he accelerates through a little bit of a seam most every time he gets the ball.
Well, the other thing is they're going to have to stay with the run. They're going to run into a brick wall sometimes, but they can't give up on the run early, because they're going to need to continue, as you said, be efficient running the football.
Well, this is a Purdue offense that's clicking as well. They've scored in all 20 quarters this year. Question of that is how much is a function of the schedule and how much of it is a function of them truly being a dominant offense. I think we begin to find out a lot of that tonight. The other game that we saw, Iowa and Penn State, both of these teams really struggling early on in the Big Ten season. Both have lost their first two conference games. Somebody's going to go to 0-3, but somebody's going to get that first Big Ten win. Which team's in better shape to turn it around, Jerry?
The guy who can turn it around is Anthony Morelli at Penn State. He's the X factor. He's the one guy who can make a difference. If you look at his performance against Illinois, he made some bad decisions. If he plays the same as he did a week ago against Illinois, minus the poor decisions, then Penn State has a real chance to win. Neither team is running the ball well. Iowa cannot pass it well today, last week, or perhaps next week, but Penn State can pass it well today if, in fact, Morelli has a good game.
Well, Iowa's defense is going to have to step up and play a lot better than they have. They were dominating early. Maybe that was a product of the schedule, maybe not. But right now, they're not getting an opportunity to make the plays. Mitch King is not as active as he was a couple of weeks ago. And I think one of the problems with that is the offense has not been able to run the football, and the defense may be spending a little bit too much time on the field.
Yeah, this is an Iowa team last in the Big Ten in scoring offense, last in total offense, and going up against a Penn State team that, at least until last week, had really looked dominant on defense so far this year. Visiting teams won 13 of 19 in that series. We'll see if it continues today in State College. More of our halftime coming up. It's the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report.
You're watching the Big Ten Network.
And Eastern Michigan 8. So it's a one-score game here at the intermission. The Michigan and Eastern Michigan bands actually appearing together here at the half. But that's about as much cooperation as we've seen between the two schools so far, along with Glenn Mason. I'm Mark Neely. What's Michigan thinking right now?
Well, they can't be happy. I know their fans aren't happy, and a one-score game, Eastern Michigan, they've got to be ecstatic in that locker room.
Well, Eastern Michigan has had some big plays in this game, but one of the stories has been Chad Henne, who early goes to Adrian Arrington. It was a 31-yard touchdown catch. They went up 10-0. Mike Hart had a touchdown run, but then this blocked extra point attempt by Jason Jones. And then it was Ryan Downard who ran it back for 2 points for Eastern Michigan. Made it a 16-5 game. They added a Zach Johnson field goal. And here at the intermission in Ann Arbor, Michigan 16 and Eastern Michigan 8. Second half just ahead. Big Ten Network football is brought to you by Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing. By Buffalo Wild Wings. You have to be here. And by Yield Guard VT Triple, the yield protection system. How long will the summertime weather last? Not sure, but it certainly feels like summer today. We're getting ready for the start of the third quarter. 16-8 Michigan leading Eastern Michigan. Look at the first half numbers. Total yards really dominated by Michigan. About 2-1 there. Time of possession favored Eastern Michigan. Turnovers 1 apiece. Michigan had 13 first downs to 8 for Eastern Michigan, but we're still looking at a one-score game.
Mark, you know, statistically, it looks like Michigan's defense has done a fine job. You heard Coach Carr talk at halftime. He was upset about the turnover, throwing the ball into double coverage by Henne and the 2 big plays in the kicking game. He didn't say anything about the defense. But I just get the feeling here that they can't be happy with the performance of the defensive squad thus far.
Well, the Wolverines scored on their first 2 possessions of the game, but have scored on only 1 of their last 3. We'll be checking again with our Suzuki keys to the game, and I think Eastern Michigan, even though they're down by 8, they're certainly hanging around, and only 1 turnover, not bad for the Eagles.
Well, just like we talked about, 1 interception, and Hart, like we said, run, and he's a force in the rushing game here for Michigan, and to stop him, easier said than done. And you know, if you do that, they're going to throw the ball outside. They got the leading rusher in Michigan history. They got the leading touchdown passer in Michigan history. They're a good offense.
How about Schmidt, the starting quarterback for Eastern Michigan? He hasn't been brilliant, but it seems like he's done whatever he has needed to move his team down the field.
Oh, I thought he's done a fine job. He made the one mistake where he threw the ball, the interception where the corner jumped inside on the slant pattern, but he's been nifty. You know, he's not a great runner, but he gains just enough to keep moving the chains.
Back down onto the field. Here's Lisa Byington once again. Lisa.
Thanks, Mark. You know, I talked to Jeff Jenick at halftime. He said he was really happy with his offense, and he felt like they were moving the chains, and he felt like they were kind of wearing down the Michigan defense. Now, on defense, he felt like they were able to control the run game and forcing the Wolverines into a more of a pass game. He felt like that showed some progress, but more importantly, he said that the coaches were talking at halftime about how this wide-eyed look at playing at Michigan Stadium is gone.
Well, they go onside, and guess who recovers? Eastern Michigan. Pulling out a trick out of the bag. And Johnson with the onside kick to begin the second half. And look who recovers, the kicker himself.
Well, that's the third big play in the kicking game. There's no doubt it was a good play. And now Jeff Jenick joins that elite fraternity of coaches that have some guts but no brains. I don't know.
You love that play, didn't you? You onside kick back-to-back years against Penn State.
And it worked.
Well, it works for Eastern Michigan, and they have the ball down 8 to begin the third quarter at their own 43-yard line. Schmidt the throw on first down. With a flag in the backfield. He gets a yard or two up near the 45.
Well, that'll be a holding, Mark. But let's go back to that onside kick. You know, I guarantee you that Jeff Janik and the Eastern Michigan coaching staff saw something in film earlier in the week. They, you know, because that's great if it works, but if it doesn't work, they.
During the play, illegal chop block, offense, 15 yards from the previous spot, repeat first down.
That is a big call there that's going to push back Eastern Michigan. Well, you saw Steven Johnson.
Well, he called it on the. He had to call it on the back, number 22, but he missed him.
Well, that cost the Eagles 15 yards, so the ball now back at their own 29-yard line. Still first down, but the handoff to Priest. And we get about 2 for the tackle by Terrence Taylor, as well as Sean Crable. Wayne Priest getting the bulk of the carries today for Eastern Michigan.
Michigan came with a zone blitz. Eastern Michigan did a pretty fair job picking it up, but they just corralled them in the backfield.
2nd and 22 on the 31-yard line. First possession of the second half. Eastern Michigan, the onside kick to begin half number 2, recovered but facing 2nd and long. Schmidt unloads across the middle, dangerous pass, deflected, but he caught it. Complete. Travis Lewis. It hit at least one Michigan hand. Brandon Logan touched it, but then Lewis came down with it, a 10-yard gain. It's still going to be 3rd and long, but they get the reception here.
Good defense. Lucky offense. Rather be lucky than good. Great concentration by the receiver.
Travis Lewis, senior from Kalamazoo, Michigan, on the catch there. It's 3rd down and 12. The Eagles at their 41-yard line.
Here's where the Eagles were good the first half, converting these first downs.
4 receivers. Schmidt gonna have to roll out right. Now he's gonna tuck it away and run, and he finds the marker and has the first down by a yard or 2 to the Michigan 45-yard line. Andy Schmidt's a guy who doesn't really strike you as a burner, but he picks up 14 big yards for the Eagles.
Mark, here's the coach in me. You heard me say this every week. Contain, C-O-N-T-A-I-N. You see they have a little line instead, 67 loops outside. You've got to keep the quarterback in the pocket, and it's a lost art in college football right now.
So they convert on 3rd and long, and it's now Eastern 5 of 10 on 3rd down today. So they've been converting. About 2 minutes here into the second half. 1st and 10. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. With some extra push, another yard or 2 for Dwayne Priest. Jamar Adams, the tackle. Priest just kept his feet moving and does pick up a couple of yards.
Now they're going no huddle.
So they pick up the pace, and Schmidt gonna run again. Slides down near the 33-yard line.
No contain.
It's a pickup of 10 yards and a first down for Eastern Michigan. Crable leaves the game. First and 10, Eastern Michigan at the 34-yard line of Michigan.
Well, you saw Lloyd grab Crable coming off and talking to him about the contain factor.
Schmidt will hand it off. The carry for Priest. Breaks through one seam. Gets stapled down at the 26-yard line, but he does pick up 8.
Basically the same play that Michigan runs. This is the inside zone. They're running out of the shotgun formation. They put a hat on a hat. There's a seam. He finds the seam. Hard running, good ball protection, good yardage.
Khalid Walton, a senior right guard for Eastern Michigan down.
Now, Mark, if an offensive team, and you heard Jeff Jennings talk about it, they're moving the chains. If you want to keep moving the chains, one of the important factors is you have to get in good third down situations. And to do that, you back it out. On first down, you need to gain 4 or more yards to keep that formula working for you. And if you're gaining 4 or more yards, 50% of the time, you're going to have a pretty good offensive day. 60% of the time, you're going to name your score.
Walton being helped off. We talk about that rushing attack. Eastern Michigan had 40 yards rushing in the first half. They have 35 yards rushing alone on this drive to begin the second half. Second down and 2 from the 26 of the Wolverines, and Schmidt in the shotgun. Grable comes on the blitz. The pass is complete up to the 22-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of 5 and another Eastern Michigan first down after the reception by Ja'Cory Stone.
That's what we would call a safe waist down play. They got second and short. They throw the jailbreak screen. You know, nothing much can go bad on that thing, but you have a chance for a big play.
So Eastern Michigan, after executing an onside kick to begin the half, and Crable in the Michigan defense not as stiff in here, but it's 1st and 10 Eastern at the 21. Priest picks up 2 before Donovan Warren stops it. Our yield guard VT triple Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week is here today. Sean Crable, who equaled a career high with 10 tackles last week against Northwestern. Quick snap. He went no huddle again, and the incomplete pass is off the hands of receiver Tyler Jones.
You talk about Sean Crable, Mark, being a physical specimen. He's 6'5", 245 pounds. He runs a 4.5. He bench pressed 345 pounds 6 times. What an athlete.
And he's the defensive captain for the first time in his career here at Michigan. 3rd down and 8. This is going to be the 10th play of this drive for Eastern Michigan to begin the second half. Towards the sideline, complete near the marker, Ja'Cory Stone, and the spot will give him a first down. Crable on the tackle, but it's a pickup of 9.
Mark, watch the receiver, but this is the most impressive play that Andy Schmidt has had this game. He dropped back, he put that ball on the mark right now without any hesitation. First down the Eagles. I am impressed with Eastern Michigan's offense.
And the Eagles, 1st and goal from the 10. One back, that's Priest. And he gets the handoff, and he gets knocked down. No! Some misdirection, and look in the end zone. Touchdown, Eastern Michigan. Andy Schmidt, the quarterback, kept it and fooled all of us. It's a 10-yard touchdown run. There is a flag down.
Mark, more importantly, fooled us, he fooled the Michigan defense. Great call.
Let's get the call.
After the play, personal foul, number 6 on the defense. The touchdown is good. The enforcement will be on the kickoff, 15 yards.
So Donovan Warren called for the personal foul after the play, but you talk about selling this. Andy Schmidt gets into the end zone for the 10-yard touchdown run. Eastern Michigan calling timeout. They were setting up to kick the point after, and I was going to hit you with this question, Glenn. Obviously a 2-point conversion ties it, but you've got 10.5 minutes left in the third quarter. There's so much time here that there certainly is not an absolute need to go for 2 here.
Mark, I'm one of those guys. I never believed in that chart and all that stuff. I agree with you. You can just see he's going to get the ball in the end zone there. He's running with a passion. But the thing on the chart, it doesn't indicate how much time's left. And I think take the sure play, not that they're sure, but take the points right now. You don't know how the game's going to unfold. let's go back. Let's not forget one thing about Eastern Michigan, and we talked about it numerous times. Over 60 players, more players on their team from Michigan than Michigan's team. And you talk about a guy like Andy Schmidt. I mean, he's getting a chance to play in the big house. He may never be here again. And so enthusiasm and effort and all those things that come into play really important in a game like this.
First rushing touchdown of the season for the quarterback, Andy Schmidt. He'll line up to kick the point after. Jack Johnson has it blocked. Grable wanting to pick it up. A teammate does up to the 25 into the play there. Terrence Taylor got the hand on it to block it. Well, they went for one. But the block extra point will keep it a 2-point game here.
There's a whole wave of guys that come through right up the middle. They came right over the center, right, left guard. Taylor's through, blocks it.
Michigan blocks the extra point. We're early in the second half. It's just a 2-point game. That score is correct. 16-14 Michigan leading Eastern Michigan. 10:31 to go third quarter. That touchdown run by Schmidt, the first touchdown allowed by the Michigan defense in their last 12 quarters at home. That goes back to week 2 in the Oregon game. An 11-play drive, and if you don't include when they took a knee to end the first half, that's 2 consecutive drives of 11 plays in this football game for the Eastern Michigan offense.
You know, Mark, I look for Michigan to get back to the original game plan. Let's run. Let's run. Let's run Mike Hart. Let's run him. And let's keep our defense on the sideline a while because they have not cracked the code to stopping Eastern Michigan.
So Henney and the Wolverines touch the football for the first time here in the second half. 1st and 10 from their 20. Hart in the backfield with the fullback, Mark Woodruff. They give it a right to Mike Hart. Finds a crease to gain about 5 yards up to the 25-yard line. Let's return down to the field and get an update from Lisa Byington.
Mark, I'm holding in my hand the front sports page of the Detroit Free Press today. It says, out of the shadows, highlighting the proverbial little brother versus big brother kind of rivalry. Eastern can't get out of the shadow of this Michigan football program. And as Jeff Jenick alluded to at halftime, the wide-eyed look is gone. Now remember, there are 61 players on this Eastern team from Michigan. And I'm going to take a gather that this Michigan program didn't take a sniff at any one of them.
Well, here's Mike Hart, who's now over 100 yards rushing, and he's right near the marker. Looks like he'll have the first down. Lisa, you make a great point here. I don't think, Glenn, there's any question now that Eastern Michigan has stayed around in this football game and feel that they can win it.
Well, I think you're right. And go back to the other thing we talked about, Michigan running the football. Eastern Michigan gets that feeling too. They jumped in an 8-man front. Michigan still ran it and picked up the necessary yards.
So over 100 yards for Mike Hart. It's the 25th time he has rushed for 100 or more yards in his career, and it's his 6th straight game over the century mark. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. 4 straight ahead. Maybe a yard that time. Well, Lloyd Carr began his coaching career just 10-12 miles from here in Ypsilanti at Eastern Michigan. 1976 and 77. He spent a couple of years there. Then he went to Illinois for 2 years. And after that came to Michigan. And has been here since.
That's a long time.
That dates back a while. 13th season as head coach here. Won 5 Big Ten titles.
Oh, Lloyd, he had a mop of hair back then.
27th year on the Michigan staff. And there's an interception at the 43. Are they going to say he's down? Nope, incomplete. Incomplete. Derek Hunter, the corner. Let's take a peek at it. Did it hit the field turf first? Yes, absolutely. No question. Incomplete. But there's Eastern a hair away from another big play.
I don't know where Henney was throwing the ball. They had that well defended. They had a guy over the top, guy coming underneath. 2-on-1, and I don't know if he tried to throw the ball away or just double clutched it, but that was a bad pass.
4 receivers. In motion is the Butler. And Hinney going to the far side, looking for Arrington, and he has him for a first down at the 49-yard line. Derek Hunter pushed him out, but it's a gain of 16.
Same pass they hit in the first quarter. They run the inside receiver on that little out. He'll break it off depending how deep the corner is. But you read the corner, the inside safety and the under coverage linebacker can't stop that. You got to fall back underneath on it.
Arrington had a touchdown catch in the first quarter, 31-yard touchdown reception. On first down, Mike Hart cuts back. Look at that move. Takes it to the far side, gives a stiff arm, breaks another tackle. And I tell you what, he may have only gained 4 or 5 yards, but what a run by Mike Hart. And there's some jawing going on, but Mike Hart shows what he can do in a tight space there.
It sure does. And you go back to the question I asked the other day talking to the players, if there's a player in this team that by his play ignited everybody, and I was looking for Mike Hart. I didn't get it out of the players, but you could see on this play, that's what the fans think. All of a sudden this Michigan crowd got back into it because of the effort by number 20.
Well, he only officially gains 4 yards, but he ran about 50 east and west and a little north and south. Second down and 6. Hinney out to Hart on the completion. Down to the 45-yard line. Daniel Holtzclaw brings him down. It will be third down and 4, about 4 yards.
Excellent job by Eastern Michigan defending that screen pass.
Well, Hart on this warm, hot day is going to come out. The fans are busy, trying to keep the kids cool on the sideline.
I think an effective play if Hart wasn't out of the game would have been run Hart right here, because they haven't been stopping for less than 4 yards.
Woodrow's the fullback in the backfield with Hinney, who will throw on 3rd and 4. He finds Arrington, first down. Down to the 34-yard line of the Eagles before the tackle by Derek Hunter. That's a gain of 11. Arrington, no question, has been their go-to receiver today without Mario Manning.
And man, did Hinney get hit and he let the ball go. From his blind side, they went down on him, and he's got a bad leg already. He wears a brace. He's fortunate.
That's Jason Jones who put the hit on him. Arrington now over 100 yards receiving. Here's the 9th play of the Wolverines' drive. 1st and 10 from the Eastern Michigan 34. And he rolls right. Finds the freshman Hemingway. He gets near the marker to the 24-yard line. Jacob Wyatt the tackle. It's a pickup of 10.
Mark, that was just a little naked pass, and he's got them all open. He's got 21. He's got 85, the tight end coming across the middle. Not even sure he didn't even have the post route to the wide receiver open, but it was just a decoy, but they were all open.
Well, Hemingway limps off the field, the freshman. First and 10 on the 24. Hart's back in the game. He gets the carry, finds a hole, makes a cutback. Hart heads to the end zone. 24-yard touchdown run for Mike Hart. And the Wolverines answer the Eastern Michigan touchdown to begin this half. Second touchdown of the game for Hart, 9th of the season. Last one to have a chance at him was Ryan Downard. And into the end zone for the senior.
Run, Mike, run.
Point after by Lupata. And with 6:59 to go in this third quarter here in the Big House, Michigan 23, Eastern Michigan 14.
This is the Big Ten Network.
Well, that's one way to try to cool off Mike Hart, but that's not going to help Eastern Michigan actually on the field. Mike Hart not only has put up those numbers, but he has become the all-time leading rusher in Michigan football history. Chad Henne is having that right hand looked at again.
Mark, if ever Michigan needed to come up with a long drive, sustained drive, it was right there. With Eastern starting the game with an onside kick, going down and scoring, you just felt that the momentum was going back their way. Their defense is really struggling today.
Monteo Gage from the 8. Down at the 26-yard line. Hey, Big Ten fans, enter the BCS Bound for the Big Easy Sweepstakes for your chance to win a trip to the 2008 All-State BCS National Championship game in New Orleans. HDTV is also one of the great prizes you can win. For more, log on to bcsbound.com.
You know, Mark, let's not forget, Michigan's had trouble with the spread attack, and they have two new starting linebackers in there.
From the Eagles' 26-yard line, 1st and 10, Eastern. Ball fake. Schmidt goes to the far side, complete at the 30, and then Travis Lewis immediately dropped by Morgan Trent, the corner. Pick up a 4.
Well, Morgan got him down, but I don't like when guys tackle like that. I like when you wrap him up, and he kind of gave it that shoulder and knocked him down. And in some regards, tackling's a lost art in college football, too. Basic fundamentals.
Many would certainly agree with you. 2nd down and 6, under 6.5 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter from Ann Arbor. It's a good football game here between these neighbors on the eastern side of the state. Handoff Priest out of the 34-yard line. You know, we saw Pierre Walker early in the game, and now that is Walker who's back in. Brandon Logan on the stop. Ours is not the only game going on the Big Ten Network. Those of you with DirecTV, Dish Network, and other outlets can find these games on these channels in Bloomington and East Lansing.
The crowd knows how important this 3rd down is.
3rd down and 3. And Schmidt from the gun. Fakes the handoff. Wanted to run. Now wants to throw again. Comes to the near side. Will unload it towards the sideline. Incomplete. At the 39-yard line. Harrison there on the coverage.
Mark, I'm still amazed. Michigan came with the blitz and it was effective. They're getting off the field. But Andy Schmidt still had a lot of time back there to make something happen.
On 4th down, Johnson to punt. And 2 return men back.
Now they use an unorthodox punt formation. They're spread out there, and every once in a while their punter will take off and do a rugby-type kick. And because that Michigan has 2 men back to cover the field, so they can't kick away from one.
Greg Matthews and Donovan Warren are back, and a high, long punt taken back at the 17-yard line by Donovan Warren. He finds a crease to get up to the 29-yard line before he's brought down by Tyrone Burke. Michigan's going to have the football with 5:22 left in the 3rd quarter when we come back to Ann Arbor. On this October Saturday, it's hot in Ann Arbor. And right now, Michigan with the 23-14 lead over Eastern Michigan. That was the first 3 and out for the Eastern Michigan offense all day. After the 49-yard punt and 12-yard return. First carry, Hart. He's got a lot of room. He's across midfield. 40, 30 to the near sideline. And pulled down at the 11. Mike Hart having another big day. Derek Hunter was the one who finally wrapped him up. But a 71-yard run.
Run, Mike, run. Obviously, excellent blocking. And he sees the big hole. Again, you could have got 4 yards through there, Neely, but you're not the leading rusher of Michigan history either.
He gave that stiff arm.
I think Lloyd Carr must have been tuned into our comments about run, Mike, run. Let's go. Let's quit messing around. Let's put this game away.
Well, that's a 61-yard run. It's the longest rushing play from scrimmage this year for Michigan. And Hart now on the sideline, but he's just a little bit under 200 yards rushing for the day. So 1st and 10 for the Wolverines from the Eagles' 11-yard line. And the carry for Carlos Brown. He gives Hart a breather.
Mark, like you talked about before, though, you know, Michigan throw the ball well, and they've got Mike Hart and a big offensive line. Eastern Michigan they've got to cheat one way or another to hang in there, and if you guess wrong, you're going to give up a big play.
Well, the crowd's cheering because Hart has come right back in after the one play off that followed his 61-yard run. They gave sophomore Carlos Brown a carry, but Hart's back in, and all 100+ thousand here in maize and blue want to see him stick it in for a third time. But it's 2nd and 6 from the 7. Guess who gets the carry? It's Hart, but he's pulled down at the 5-yard line for a gain of a couple.
You know, some guys are inside runners and some guys are outside runners, and they prefer it. You can see Mike Hart, he likes to run inside, get behind those big linemen where they don't see him. He finds a crease, and then he is a north and south runner, my type of runner.
198 rushing yards for Mike Hart of the 212 total rushing yards for Michigan. Henny wide open. Matthews into the end zone. Hunter was there on the coverage. There is a flag. Let's see if the Matthews touchdown catch will stand or not. If it stands, it would be his 3rd touchdown catch of the year.
During the play, pass interference offense number 16 on a pick play. 15 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, 3rd down.
Well, they get Arrington. You know, it's interesting, this rule, Glenn, because picks obviously are legal, but there are plays that are run all the time.
Well, let's watch 16. Pick play. Good call, official.
There he is as he
now Lloyd's
up on Garrison.
Lloyd's upset with the officials, but he's an old defensive coach. When he sees that on film, he understands it. He was coming off, he was blocking the guy, he was shielding him so he couldn't pass off.
So the 15-yard penalty moves the ball back to the Eastern Michigan 19-yard line. Butler in motion. And he's looking to go towards the end zone again, and this time Arrington can't come up with it, a little bit high. An incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down and a field goal try upcoming for the Wolverines. Boy, he was wide open. Looked like the defender Garrison fell down for a moment, got up, and then hit. He's like, missed that opportunity.
And he's good at that. He's got to be a 90%er when they're that wide open at that route, even though it's a deep route. He's good.
36-yard attempt off the left hash. Casey Lapata. Well, there was some question about who was going to do all the place kicking for Michigan, and Lapata's made a good statement today. 3:13 to go, 3rd quarter. 26-14 Wolverines.
The Big Ten Network.
Well, we take a look at our U.S. Bank Big Ten standings. Keep in mind, a lot of these teams are playing in progress. Ohio State will play later tonight. We have 4 teams at 2-0, including the Wolverines, but it's obviously a non-conference game for the Wolverines today. Purdue also unbeaten, 1-0 in conference. So 3:13 to go. The low kick. Kicked at the 10, live ball, and then it's still loose, and Michigan recovers at the 17-yard line. On special teams, James Rogers comes up with it for Michigan. Now the big play there with 3:10 to play in the 3rd quarter, and Michigan's going to get it deep in Eastern Territory.
Well, the first man mishandles it. The second guy comes in and he goes to cover it up, which he should do, but you don't dive on the ball. You've got to cradle it. He dove right on it. It squirted out. Big play, Michigan.
Hit Gage's right leg, and then Priest can't cover it up. Rogers does, though.
One of our keys for this game, Mark, was for Eastern Michigan to hang around. And I was just getting ready to say here, there are 2.
Well, one of the officials is shaken up. Right there at the end of the play. Side judge, but which brings up an interesting point here, Glenn, because in the first game of the season against Appalachian State, one of the officials was injured in the game, and they played the remainder of that game, and officials short on the field. Michigan made that point to the Big Ten office, and they, beginning with this game, now have backup officiating available if there is an injury that would cause one of the beginning officials to have to leave the football game.
Who's that backup official talking down that headset?
First and 10. Mike Hart stumbles, turns, spin, touchdown. Mike Hart got around Downard. 17-yard touchdown run. And what a day for Mike Hart. It's been a historic one for Hart. He finds the end zone for the 4th time today.
Mark, he's had some big runs just like this one where he's untouched. And you can see the offensive line in the zone play, staying on their men, stretching them out. That's what the play implies, and him cutting back. Really, the fullback has nothing to do. Backside is sealing. Movement at point of attack, position backside, that's offensive line play.
3rd touchdown for him today, 5th time in his career he's had a 3-touchdown game. He's over 200 yards rushing now, 215 on 22 carries in this one.
You can see the movement front side in number 57 pulling around from the backside. He sealed the backside linebacker, and he's untouched going in the end zone. I now think if I was Lloyd, I'd say, Mike, congratulations. You broke the record. Go sit underneath that cool mist thing like we need up here in the press box, and we'll see you next week.
His 5th career 200-plus rushing game. And a 3-touchdown day for Mike Hart, averaging nearly 10 yards per carry.
The other end of that, I'm going to tell you, if we get to see any of Brandon Minor, number 4, he's an excellent back. You're going to be excited by him, and I think he's got more speed than Hart.
Gage with another attempt, fields this one at the 4. The line drive to the 24-yard line. And Rogers, who had the fumble recovery the last time on special teams, gets the stop. 20-yard return. Michigan Stadium on this hot October Saturday. We had a 16-8 Michigan lead at the half, and then after Eastern Michigan executed an onside kick to begin the second half, went in, scored, made it 16-14, had the point after blocked, and really from that point Michigan has picked up the momentum and it opened up the 33-14 lead. Now Andy Schmidt in the Eastern Michigan offense. The carry up to the 24-yard line. Tackled by Brandon Graham. And the carry by Priest. Actually, that's Walker who's at the carry for Eastern Michigan. The Eagle fans were smiling for a good portion of this game, but right now struggling, and there's Brandon Graham. Gets into the backfield to drop Andy Schmidt. It's like a switch has been turned here, Glenn. All of a sudden, Michigan's got their strut back.
Well, you're right. The defense all of a sudden now seems to be coming alive, and there's more excitement out there on the field than we've seen all day.
Second Wolverine sack of the game. Graham gets this one, his 7th of the season.
Eastern's done a fine job all day. I don't think they should get away from their game plan, because you're going against really a talented defense to just think that you're going to throw the ball down the field and do things you haven't worked on.
3rd and 13. Comes Crable on the blitz. The throw, nice catch by Stone. Then up to the 30-yard line. He loses the football. And let's see who has it. It looks like the Wolverines do. And indeed, Michigan football, as Eastern Michigan really competing in this game, and now all of a sudden their mistakes have compounded. Brandon Logan on the fumble recovery, and Eaglemont actually helped carry it out.
Receiver runs a good route. He makes a great catch. Great effort here trying to get the first down. Has the ball pretty well protected, but if you come in, you see how that defender for Michigan came in, and he put his hat right on the ball, ran through the guy and wrapped his arm. That's how you tackle.
Well, that was Engelman who knocked it free. He's the guy who wins the Hammer Award, as they call it most weeks. The big hitter on the defense for Michigan, and he certainly showed it there. Carlos Brown, the carry for the Wolverines. Just over a minute and a half to play in this third quarter in Ann Arbor. Well, our Cooper Tires big stop of the game comes from just moments ago, the completion. But then Brandon Engelman, the fifth-year senior from Covington, Kentucky. He brought it, jarred it loose. Michigan recovers after a loss of 1 second and 11 for the Wolverines at the 22. Harrington in motion. Hitting. Incomplete. Off the hands of McLaurin. Coming out of the backfield, McLaurin seeing some time at tight end as well. Well, the Big Ten Network is looking for its most passionate fans with Big Ten super fans. The Big Ten Network wants to reward its loyal viewers with chances to win great prizes like tickets to a Big Ten game, TVs, iPods, and much more. You can register now at BigTenNetwork.com. A whistle at the snap.
Michigan, they're first.
Michigan calls their first timeout of the second half. Lloyd Carr has to be a little happier with what he has seen from his team here in the last 8-10 minutes of this football game. Well, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Big Ten Conference and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Big Ten Conference.
Well, Mike, I'm sure that Coach Carr still has a lot he wants to go over improving this football team, but there's no doubt he's breathing a little bit easier. But in this situation, defense just got a turnover, and that's an important statistic you always keep is how does your offense react? Points off the turnover, especially with this field position.
205th consecutive Michigan home game that they've been over 100,000 in attendance.
Which makes this like the fourth largest city in Michigan, something like that, huh?
I think you've got a pretty good point on it. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. And Eastern Michigan, onside kick to begin the second half. Took that drive down the field, scored, but missed the extra point. And since that point, Michigan has really found their strut again, and after the turnover, have it 3rd and 11. Hitting, deflected. Is it intercepted? Yes. Derek Hunter, cornerback, gets the pick for Eastern Michigan. Holtzclaw, I believe, got a hand on this. Henny, is he going for Carson? I guess he was the closest to it.
I think he tried to lay right down the middle to Butler and just threw it behind him.
So the interception, the second given up by Henny today. He and Butler talking about what went wrong there. Well, Eastern Michigan gets the ball back, but they have it at their own 5-yard line. Played conservatively. And a carry by Pierre Walker picks up a couple. Let's get an update from Chicago and Dave Refson. See what else is going on.
And Mark, we got a heck of a game going on in Champaign between Wisconsin and Illinois after Rashard Mendenhall had scored his 3rd TD of the game. P.J. Hill answers for the Badgers. They failed on the 2-point conversion, down 5.
Interesting game there.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You take Mendenhall and Hill for Wisconsin, Mendenhall for Illinois, 2 hard runners.
Great to have you with us. We're in Ann Arbor at the Big House. It's Mark Neely, Glenn Mason, Lisa Byington on the sidelines. Happy to have you with us. This back Big Ten matchup today. 33-14 Wolverines It'll be the final play of the third quarter. The snap, Tyler Jones up near the 14-yard line. A gain of 6. That's going to take us through quarter number 3.
You know, you would think when they put Tyler Jones back there in the direct snap position, Michigan's got to play run.
It's been a 3-touchdown game for Mike Hart. 33-14 Eastern. Michigan leading Eastern at the end of 3.
This is the Big Ten Network.
17 unanswered points by Michigan to conclude that third quarter, and they take a 33-14 lead here to begin the fourth. Eastern Michigan ball on third down and short, and Sean Crable makes his presence felt here as we begin the fourth quarter. A loss of 3.
He makes a move right to the inside of the left offensive tackle. He's unblocked, makes the play in the backfield. You should make plays when you're not blocked.
Of course, Eastern Michigan punt. Crable, the 5th-year senior, Massillon, Ohio, Washington High School. Johnson.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised they get a good return. This guy's kicking him pretty good, and
they get at the 49-yard line. Cutting back, now push back into Michigan territory. Donovan Warren. And out of all that, they lose a yard or 2 on the return.
Like I said, I thought they'd have a bad return there.
41-yard punt, no return as it turned out. He got it right back to the spot where he came up with it. There's a look at our numbers through 3 quarters. Mike Hart is taking care of most of those rushing yards for Michigan. Total yards about 2-1 in favor of the Wolverines. Turnovers, Eastern has turned the ball over twice here in that third quarter. In the time of possession, Eastern Michigan with the edge.
Which is what?
Doesn't mean much.
Meaningless. My favorite meaningless stat.
Mike Hart had 121 yards on 8 carries in that third quarter.
And he almost came out the back door there.
Carlos Brown on the carry and Jacob White on the stop. Sophomore Carlos Brown, 6-footer, 210 pounds. Out of Franklin, Georgia. Switched him to running back from cornerback prior to this year. Second down and 5. Number 47 now. Brown again on the carry for a couple. Eric Young, the Eastern Michigan tackler.
Eric Young on tackle.
Brown will come out on third down and 4. Clock running, early fourth quarter from here in Ann Arbor. What was a 2-point Michigan lead early in the third quarter. Ballooned after 17 unanswered Wolverine points. Trips to the left side. Going that way, but it's batted down by Josh Hunt, the defensive tackle. An update from the field once again. Let's check in with Lisa Bynes. Lisa.
Mark, all we heard all week is how competitive Mike Hart is. I think we saw a case in point in this third quarter. But Mike Hart has admitted when it comes to competition, anything is fair game. He's actually admitted that sometimes he cheats when he plays in cards. His teammates say that he's insufferable when he plays video games, and he brags all the time. In fact, Sean Crable says that when they went jogging one time, Mike Hart, just all of a sudden the last 100 yards just took off, and Crable said, I didn't even know we were in a sprint. Well, guys, I think that Hart went toe-to-toe with Eastern Michigan today, and I think Michael Hart won.
Always competing, isn't he, Lisa? Now the punt, no return. 28 yards, 33-14 Michigan with 12:41 to go.
Wisconsin and Illinois after Rashard Mendenhall had scored his third TD of the day. P.J. Hill answers with a 1-yard plunge. Wisconsin missed the 2-point conversion, up by 5, Mark.
Thanks, Dave. The Mendenhall-Hill battle continuing in Champaign. Here in Ann Arbor. Pass attempt for Tyler Jones. Incomplete. Second down and 10. We have just over 12.5 minutes left. Fourth quarter here. 33-14. Michigan leading Eastern Michigan. Might we see Ryan Mallett at some point in this game at quarterback for the Wolverines?
Well, I think that'd be a good move. He's already started a game. Henny's got a sore leg. Played most of the game. Why wouldn't you put this young man in? Because you're probably going to need him before the year's out again.
Mallett, freshman from Texarkana, Arkansas. Had his first career start against Notre Dame a few weeks back. Schmidt will run up to the 21-yard line. You know, when we saw him early in this game, Glenn, I thought here's a guy who's not real mobile, but he's proven me wrong a bit here as the game has gone on. He can put up some yards on the ground if needed.
I guess I'd use the word scrappy.
Scrappy? I like that.
He's not fast. He's not quick. You know, he's not elusive, but he'll, like his touchdown run, he looked like a fullback running the ball.
There's 4 receivers here on 3rd down and 8. 2 to each side. Here comes the rush. It's deflected off the hands of Brandon Graham. The sophomore from Detroit. Will the league get a hand on this pass attempt from Schmidt? And then knock him to the ground.
Mark, what we've seen out of Michigan defense the last 2 series is what I at least anticipated we'd see the entire game. And they've come alive now, and they're making plays and putting a lot of pressure on Eastern Michigan, which they weren't able to do early in the game.
At the 37-yard line. Up to the 48. Warren on the return. 43-yard punt. 11-yard return. Darren Matthews on the tackle. Hey, later today, be sure to stick around after football to watch Wisconsin take on Northwestern in Big Ten men's soccer action. Coverage will begin at 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central here on the Big Ten Network. He is indeed the #1 all-time rusher in Michigan football history, Mike Hart. A historic day for him. Henny still in the game. Mike Hart is not. Hart came out preceding series. Carlos Brown is the lone back. He slips a little bit after getting a handoff and loses a yard or 2. Well, Mike Hart passes Anthony Thomas today. Look at that. That's a pretty impressive list right there.
What's really impressive is Jamie Morris, because we had dinner with him last night. What a great guy. So, you know, a guy like that, a smile on his face, tough football player.
Loss of 2 on the last play. 2nd down and 12. Swinging out. It is collected by Greg Matthews. As the first down up at the 40-yard line of Eastern Michigan. Darren Matthews on the tackle. And it's a gain of 13 for number 13, Greg Matthews.
Little bubble pass, just thrown to the outside. Bobbled the ball a little bit, but good wide receiver blocking there. And 13 made a critical mistake cutting back inside. You got to count it on the outside. There's Butch Woolfolk's son. Butch Woolfolk, great running back out of Westfield, New Jersey. Played for Coach Glenn Keller, great coach back there. And Butch now to Sugar Land, Texas. Actually, it's Butch's son, Troy. But Butch was from Westfield, New Jersey.
The tempo on the carry. He gets his first of the game. Jim Patempa, running back. Now the Eastern Michigan team really made this a football game for, what, 2.5+ quarters. Their turnovers certainly affected them. Now they're getting a bit worn down. And this one's thrown out to the freshman Hemingway. There's a first down out near the 22-yard line. Junior Hemingway, the pickup of 16.
You know, Mark, bubble pass again out there, bubble screen, and that's what happens when you commit too many people on the inside.
Material Savoy with a nice block that helped get Hemingway the yardage.
Spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
You know, we remiss. We showed Troy Woolfolk, Butch Woolfolk's son, down there. And the other guy that's played just about this whole game, Justin Bourne, his dad, Mike Bourne, was a linebacker here back in the 80s.
Too good of a block for Savoy. Got flagged for the penalty. Second down at 16. The ball back now at the Eastern Michigan 46-yard line. Brown to the 43-yard line. Somebody lost a helmet there. As the helmet, Ortman picks it up for Bourne. Here's a look at our Suzuki Way of Life honor roll. Zoltan Mesko hasn't had a busy day today. He's only had to punt a couple of times, but he's our Suzuki Way of Life honor roll standout student athlete in the Ross School of Business. Junior from Twinsburg, Ohio, a 3.42 GPA. Nice work. Third down at 14. A little trouble with the snap for Hinney, but he finds a wide open receiver and then pushed down at the 33-yard line. Andre Criswell, it's his first catch of the day, and it's a gain of 10.
It did look like a basketball play. Henny dribbled it twice and picked it up and threw the guy off the screen.
Dribbled it once at least. Criswell comes up a few yards shy of the first down, so it's 4th and 3. And leading 33-14 with a little over 8.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Michigan will go.
Why wouldn't you?
Quick pass out to Hemingway. And he's not going to make it. Nicely read there by Derek Hunter. And the Wolverines turn it over on downs with 8:31 left. Chad Hinney, perhaps his day is finished. We'll step aside. Timeout here in Ann Arbor.
You're watching the Big Ten Network.
Dave Revson, our Big Ten Network studios. A wild one in East Lansing just moments after C.J. Bechet had thrown his third touchdown pass of the game. Javon Ringer goes 80 yards for the touchdown. This tied it up. Northwestern has just scored on a long touchdown pass to Eric Peterman. So the Wildcats now on top in this game, 40-34.
Dave, thank you. I tell you what, that Northwestern team, they're a bit Jekyll and Hyde. We've seen them. They didn't look very good against Duke. And they struggled at Ohio State, obviously, but then gave Michigan fits last week and now giving the Spartans fits.
Well, I was really impressed with Pat Fitzgerald, his approach up there at Northwestern. And, you know, they got great quality kids there. There's no quit in the Wildcats. They just keep plugging along.
Look at the bottom of your screen there with the heat radiating at this field turf. Day with the temperature just a little bit south of 90 degrees. It's warm and even warmer on that field turf. Some subs into the game. Marcus Slocum made the tackle there. Another update on the field now and see how Lisa's doing down there. Lisa?
Mark, you would think in a game like this, Jeff Chenick would use that Appalachian State upset to motivate his players. In fact, he said they didn't need that kind of motivation, that playing with a chip on their shoulder was enough. In fact, the team that used that as motivation was Michigan. And both Chad Henne and Sean Crable said they learned the lessons from that game, came in handy because they both admitted this team is a little more cognizant of focusing on start to finish output. And he said, I hope we've learned that lesson once. Maybe the way they performed, they certainly have.
Lisa, thanks. On that third and long, the pass incomplete, intended for Ja'Cory Stone. Donovan Warren on the coverage, and it's 4th down, and Michigan will get the ball back with 7:41 to go.
Mark, 3 straight series where all of a sudden Michigan defense comes alive. There's nothing there. Run, pass, 3 and out, punt the ball, put the offense back on the field.
It's the 4th straight Eagles possession without a first down when they had been very effective picking up first downs through the first almost 3/4 of this game. Fair catch called for by Matthews at the 29-yard line. 37-yard punt, no return.
Here you see this rugby type. They got a spread punt. He grabs the ball and he starts like he might run the football. He moves the pocket and kicks it away. That's why Michigan has 2 returners back.
Ryan Mallett has entered the football game for the Wolverines. Freshman, 6'7", 252-pounder. One of 4 true freshmen to start at quarterback for Michigan in the program's long history, and his first career start came against Notre Dame.
I'll tell you, Lloyd likes those big quarterbacks, doesn't he?
Wow, 6'7". And a handoff, Brown to the 34-yard line. It was funny because we were talking with Chad Henne and asked him about Ryan Mallett. And Chad Henne's not a small guy. He's 6'2". But Ryan Mallett at 6'7", he said, man, the guy's a giant.
I'll tell you, Chad Henne, he's a big 6'2". I mean, he walks in the room. You think he's taller than that. Might have been because he was standing next to Mike Hart. I'm not sure, but
yeah, Mike at 5'9". Mallett, who went to Texarkana, Texas high school, but lives in Texarkana, Arkansas, right there on the border of those 2 states. Brown pushes it ahead a yard or 2 across the 35-yard line. Andre Hatchett with the tackle. They're the look to be final numbers for Chad Henne today. He completed his first 6 passes of the game, goes 17 to 26, just under 200 yards for the day. They give up the 2 picks and the 1 touchdown pass, which was a 31-yarder to Arrington early in the game.
They won't be happy about those interceptions. They're never happy about turnovers.
So Henne now with 6 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions on the season.
Typically late in the game, that's where your running game really becomes effective and that defense gets tired.
Mallett with a lot of time to the near side, and a completion at the 46-yard line will be enough for a first down. And the first down grab by Laterial Savoy.
It doesn't take a trained eye here, Mark. I don't know if Mallett can run, but he can throw. That is a frozen rope, so to speak. Tight spiral, right on the money with a lot of zip on it. Excellent job of the receiver catching in his hands.
Clock running with under 6 minutes to play here in Ann Arbor. This was a 16-14 game in favor of Michigan. We get movement in the flags. Fly.
False start, offense, number 57, 5 yards. The down remains first.
Adam Krause moves. Michigan with 220 yards of offense here in the second half alone to 85 for Eastern Michigan. See Krause coming off. New Orleans native. Penalty makes it 1st and 15. Lauren in motion. Not much there. Let's get an update. See what's going on in the studio. Back to Chicago. And once again, Dave Refson.
Now, Mark, it just gets weirder in East Lansing. C.J. Bechet to Eric Peterman for the touchdown. 70-yard TD. He's thrown for 423, but Michigan State brought the kickback inside the 30. They're driving down 7.
Wow. What a football game. Thank you, Dave. That does qualify as weird. That's
that type of game. You know what we call that? That's a coach killer. You're inside, they're just killing you.
Well, Michigan with 453 yards now of total offense. Mallett keeps it. Rolling right. Throws it over the head of Laterial Savoy, who he had open.
Seemed to be a lot of confusion on that play. The wide receiver came out there and curled up and stopped, looked around. He wasn't sure. And Mallett broke contain. And really, if the receiver would have taken off to the end zone, the south end zone, I think they've been okay. At least I think that's south.
You are correct. That is the south end zone. You have your directions correct. Third down and 17. The offset eye, Patimpa takes the handoff. He dances it to the 45-yard line, about a yard shy of the original line of scrimmage. Spencer, actually Jason Jones helping on the stop.
Unusual formation for that situation, Mark. They lined up a two-back set with an unbalanced line.
So Michigan will punt.
Man getting late on the field.
Zoltan Mesko back at the 32-yard line. Dave Beard will let it bounce. And it'll take an Eastern bounce, and then the Michigan hop inside the 20. Timeout. Just 3:26 to go here in Ann Arbor.
Saturday on the
Big Ten Network football is brought to you by U.S. Bank, home of the 5-star service guarantee. By Yield Guard VT Triple, the yield protection system. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. You have to be here. 3:26 to go. 33-14 Michigan. The quarterback Kyle McMahon hands it off to the 24-yard line. There's McMahon, a freshman from Rochester Hills, Michigan.
I'm watching the game, but you keep talking about those Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm getting hungry.
Starving. Well, even though Michigan's going to come out on the winning side of this football game, let's not forget what happened right after the half. The onside kick began the half. Eastern recovered it, marched down the field, scored, and their PAT was blocked. It would have made it a one-point game. But it stayed at 2, and then 17 unanswered points for Michigan. McMahon's going to run with it here and makes a nice move to the near sideline. And in a foot race, he's going to get down to the 33-yard line. Well, we talked about Schmidt and his mobility or lack thereof in some respects. Kyle McMahon, he can run. He showed it right there. Pick up a 42 yards.
Yeah, he breaks container. You see the end go back inside. He makes a good move there. There goes 11, and the guy will be running down the sideline the fastest is defensive coordinator Ron English, and he is not happy.
He was finally pushed out by Lorenzo Seabury. And not before that pickup of 42 yards. 1st and 10 Eastern at the 34 of the Wolverines. The handoff will take it near the 30. Well, Big Ten fans, next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, the action continues here on the Big Ten Network. It all starts with the Suzuki pregame show. Then Purdue takes on Michigan. Minnesota will battle Northwestern. Glenn and I will be in Columbus, Kent State, Ohio State. And then in prime time, Indiana squares off with Michigan State. Coverage will wrap up with the postgame show, followed by the finale.
My old school Kent State Golden Flashes, that's my old alma mater. Doesn't get any better than that.
It's going to be fun next week from Columbus. You're the head coach at Kent State for 2 seasons, correct? Ball underthrown, incomplete at the 15.
I enjoyed 2 very good years there. Great people, great players, good success. A lot of my players will be at the game, former players. Can't believe how old they look.
Here's the upcoming schedule for the Wolverines. I have Purdue coming up next week, big game here on the Big Ten Network. And now you look down to that game at Illinois, October 20th. Man, it's a pretty tough schedule the next couple of weeks.
Well, you can see Coach Carr, this game may be over as you called it, but he's not done coaching.
3rd down and 7. Play fake. McMahon dumps it off. Complete to the tight end inside the 18-yard line.
Mark, let's just go back to the point that you made. You're not into this thing for moral victories, but Eastern Michigan can be proud. Their fans, coaches, and players, how they performed here today. They had a good plan. They played hard. They executed. They're just playing against a more talented football team.
Just 10 miles separating the two schools. Eastern Michigan will head back to Ypsilanti and resume MAC play. They represented themselves well today, and McMahon floats it complete inside the 10-yard line. Nope, he dropped it. Nate Beard, the intended receiver.
You know, Schmidt's from Michigan, McMahon's from Michigan. We already talked about that. The other interesting factor in this game, as you watch McMahon here, they have 8 sets of players that played in the same high school playing in this game. So if you think these kids don't know each other and there's bragging rights and they like competing against each other, because one thing that both schools are, they're competitors.
Under a minute to go. Second down and 10, the 18. McMahon goes towards the end zone and reaching, incomplete. Down to the end zone, he had Ja'Cory Stone, and the reach around the defender. Trying to get that football, but it'll be third down. Ja'Cory Stone, a sophomore from Cleveland. I like what I've seen so far here of Kyle McMahon. Interesting quarterback.
He's impressive. I just love those kids that when they get a chance to go out there and play, they're ready. They're not timid. They want to take their shots at the bat and see what I can do.
Pride is the word there on the front of the helmet of Kyle McMahon. Going towards the end zone again. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown, Eastern Michigan. Tyrone Burke. An 18-yard touchdown catch. Stevie Brown had the coverage on him, but Burke hauls it in.
Heck, he looked like Henny throwing that. Right on the money.
Second touchdown reception of the season for redshirt freshman Tyrone Burke. Burke, who's from the same hometown as Michigan's Mike Hart from Syracuse, New York.
You can see Ron English, he's not happy. You make some substitutions, you give some kids a chance to play, you expect them to perform. He's very upset.
We're going to go for 2 here with just 47 seconds remaining. Burke comes in motion. McMahon looks like he wants to run it. Can he get to the corner? He does. And the 2-point conversion. Still a 2-score game. 33-22.
Look at this. I mean, he's got some wheels. You know, I think Jeff Jenick, head coach there at Eastern Michigan, he's going to be pleased today. They're in the process of turning this program around, and he's got 2 fine quarterbacks that he can build on here.
Now, one of the big plays on that drive was McMahon's 42-yard run that got him into Michigan territory, and then it's capped off by the 18-yard touchdown pass. Now, those 17 unanswered points, as it turned out, for Michigan in the third quarter, looked like they may be the difference in the game. Well, there's only 47 seconds left. We know that Eastern Michigan has already executed an onside kick. That began the second half.
Now, Mark, go back to that stat that our very capable crew gave us up here before this game today. How many points Eastern has ever scored against Michigan, and what's happened today?
Mike Hart with the good hands team playing on special teams, and they call a timeout. And what you're referring to is this is the 8th meeting in the history of these two schools, and in this previous 7, Michigan had won all 7, but in 6 of those had shut out Eastern Michigan. So Eastern had only scored in 1 of the games. Well, they put up some points today, down 11. Everybody in the big house expecting an onside kick.
Well, neither you or I are bettors, but a lot of time on Friday night when we sit around, we get the newspaper out and we see what the betting lines are, what the experts say, and we kind of converse back and forth. And this, I think, was the second biggest spread in the paper that we read for this week's game, and it wasn't 11 points, I can tell you that.
Well, Eastern Michigan had a 2-point game early in the third quarter. Down 11 now with 47 seconds to go.
And we're going to see another onside kick.
The good hands team is out there for Michigan, and again, that includes Mike Hart, whose day is not officially done yet. That's in the air, a live ball. And Eastern Michigan, for the second time today, recovers an onside kick. This one, Michigan knew was coming. But Tyler Jones comes up with it, and they have 45 seconds remaining. A chance for a couple of Wolverines.
Number 8 just took it right away from him. Now, if we could score fast and get another onside kick, you know what Yogi Berra said?
It ain't over till
it's over. You're pretty good, Neely. Getting better.
Tyler Jones with the recovery. And 1st and 10 from the Eastern Michigan 40-yard line. McMahon under heat. Will get sacked back at the 28-yard line. Tim Jamison with the sack, a loss of 11.
Well, if Janik calls timeout here, he'll get booed by me.
Clock is running.
I only say that because it's a sauna in here.
21 seconds left. Clock does stop, and Eastern Michigan will use their second of their 3 timeouts.
Boo.
Eastern Michigan with the short drive here from Ypsilanti.
Yeah, here we are.
It's going to be, what, about
right
3
here.
years? They're going to replace a lot of what you see here. This is the TV booth, obviously. This is going to come down.
We got 32 people in this closet.
A lot of history in this booth.
Oh,
a lot
boy.
of great football.
All right, let me ask you a question while we're waiting. The Big House. Who's credited with coining that phrase? The Big House.
Bo Schembechler?
No. Keith Jackson.
Keith Jackson. We give him the credit. Long pass. Incomplete at the 37-yard line. And just 14 seconds to go here in the Big House.
And you see on some of our Big Ten pros, you see Keith Jackson, what a great announcer and his great sayings, but he called many a great game right here, sitting here. It's kind of, he probably wouldn't want to see this press box go.
No, a lot of history. .14 seconds to go. McMahon throws it down the near side, and that's caught at the 45-yard line. Lewis. Clock stops with 4 seconds to move the chains.
Mark, I agree with you. This Kyle McMahon, freshman, 6'3", 200 pounds, from Rochester Hills, Michigan, is impressive.
Just his second drive of the game. He led them on a touchdown drive the previous possession. Michigan calls a timeout. Their final, actually Eastern Michigan, I should say, their third and final.
You know what? I think where Jeff Janik is with his team right now, he did exactly the right thing calling time. Let's take another shot, fellas. We're building this football team. We're getting better. You know, we're only down by 11 points. Let's put one on and go for 2. I mean, let's go. Let's see what we can do here. And you know, the thing about it, people don't realize, next week or the week after or a couple weeks from now when he's in the Mid-American Conference, he may come down to this exact situation. 1 play left to win a game. What better practice can you get than right here against the Wolverines in Michigan Stadium? Good coaching by Jeff Janik.
There's a smile there for Tyrone Burke, who has a touchdown catch here in this fourth quarter. What looks like will be the final play
Unless there's a defensive penalty, it will be the final play.
From the Michigan 41-yard line. McMahon under pressure. Goes towards the end zone. Jump ball. Intercepted. Game over. Now the interception by Brandon Engelman. And it's over in Ann Arbor. Engelman gets his second interception of the season. Big day, though, for Mike Hart. 3 touchdowns. He becomes the all-time leading rusher in Michigan football history. And 33-22, Michigan beats Eastern Michigan here in Ann Arbor on this fine October afternoon. It was a 2-point game early in the third quarter. Down to the field. Here's Lisa Byington. Lisa?
We're with Michigan's big little man. What is it about your back being against the wall that brings out the best in you, Mike?
It's just, I love a challenge. When we get a challenge, I got to step up. Playmakers have to step, and I know we were down a little bit, so I had to make some plays.
Going into today, you needed 33 yards to break the all-time rush record. How much did you think about that?
Not really. 33 yards, that's not that much, so I knew it was going to happen. We just want to come out here and get the win.
What does the record mean to you?
Right now, honestly, I know it's a great accomplishment, but I'm just focused on the season and trying to keep going. But I know when I look at it down the line, it's going to be a great accomplishment, definitely.
You're not the fastest, you're not the biggest, you've had injuries. Can you put in perspective what you've done with still a senior season left?
It's just hard work. Hard work pays off. You just got to be consistent. That's what it's about. And I just come out here and I play, every play my hardest.
Mike Hart, thank you. You know what? The Michigan records, they're not going to get many dates because guess what, guys? It's been heartbroken.
Lisa, that's a whale of a football player right there, Mike Hart. Big game for Hart, and they beat Eastern Michigan by 11. Eastern Michigan drops to 2-3. Michigan wins their 4th in a row and are now 4-2. That's going to do it from Ann Arbor. For Glenn Mason and our entire crew, I'm Mark Neely. We're going to send you to Northwestern at Michigan State. Wayne Larrabee, Chris Martin, and the crew. So long from Ann Arbor, where the Wolverines win it.
Know about it then. Missed tackle by Quatang, missed tackle by McManus, and then Phillips, who's got a big wrap on his hand. Hard for him to wrap up on tackles.
First down, football to the 34. Michigan State territory. They are out of timeouts. And Hoyer's pass intended for Kellen Davis. They were on the different pages. Davis was doing a go route down the sidelines. Meanwhile, the quarterback, Brian Hoyer, expected him to stop that route, turn, and catch the football, and he threw it behind him.
Fortunately, just a pass that was grounded and incomplete.
And again, the timeouts left. Northwestern has 3, Michigan State none, with 2:13 to go down the game. Brett Swenson, a Groza Award candidate. Make him down to his foot. Oh, beautiful throw to Dell. Broke it up. Incomplete. It was Deontay Battle who was in on that coverage along with McPherson across the midfield marker.
Crowd's upset because they're wanting face guarding. But in the college game, there is no face guarding. It's just, did he have contact with the receiver before the ball got there? You never have to locate the football in college in the college game, but you can't touch the receiver before the ball gets there.
Well, we're heading close to overtime here now. Michigan State facing 3rd down and 10 from the Spartan 34.
4 of 8 on the game on 3rd down.
Hoyer has to step up on the scramble. Hoyer not going to get there. Brought down near the 39-yard line. And it is 4th down for Michigan State. 4th down and almost 4.5, 5 yards to go. Football, well, we're going to mark it right at the 40, so 4th down and 4.
And I think a timeout now by Northwestern, trying to conserve time.
Northwestern, 30-second timeout.
So here we go. Northwestern and Michigan State. They've been trading huge shots offensively, back and forth all afternoon. Mark D'Antonio's team is trying to make sure they don't fall into a slide that has become customary after their first loss. Their season careens out of control. Meanwhile, Pat Fitzgerald and his Wildcats are trying to learn how to finish a game, especially on the road, especially in the 4th quarter. Finish the ball game. That's been the theme this week for Northwestern. They took a lead into the game against Michigan last week at home and could not hang on. Both sides have been extremely resilient here.
It's just been, you called it earlier, partner, it's been a track meet. Back and forth, big punches lobbed at each other. We're tied at 41. The last time Michigan State went out and punted, they had it blocked. But anyone who was thinking that they would go for it here, no way. 4th and nearly 5 yards to go. They're out of timeouts. You don't hand Northwestern the football there. You punt it away and count on your defense.
This time, no rush on the punt. It's off kind of a line drive kick. Takes a Michigan State hop inside the 20, and the Spartans down it.
He's fortunate. Not much of a punt, but he got the roll because so many punt returners don't go and catch the football. You go catch a thing, fair catch it, then the ball doesn't hit and gain additional yardage. That's what we used to call hidden yardage. You don't see it in the statistics, but it changes field position. If he goes and catches the ball, they have the ball up near the 30.
All right, you're deep in your own territory. You're Pat Fitzgerald. And there's your kicker right there. Villarreal might come down to his foot.
See, I don't sit on it here.
Exactly. That's
I don't sit on it.
You've got a couple of timeouts remaining, right?
You know why I don't sit on it? The 2 timeouts, but my quarterback has played so well today that I trust him.
Bechet swings it out. Omar Conte down the sidelines. Conte into the clear. Needs to beat one man. And he's taken down from behind across the 30 at the 29-yard line of Michigan State. Eric Gordon pursued and finally got him down.
And one last thing, partner. Where they don't wait, they don't say it. No one's ever going to verbalize it. But teams that are on 3-game slides don't sit on the football. You go and try and win the game. You're on the road. Go get it done.
Greg Jones, a freshman, missed the tackle, and a freshman brought him down, but 52 yards downfield.
And how about this block right there on the corner? He got additional help. I think it was Trevor Reese, number 50, their captain and center.
They mark it to the 30-yard line of Michigan State. Roberson trying to cut it back and brought down inside the 30. That was Josh Rouse, a linebacker who made the tackle, gain of a couple of yards.
And you've got a very tired Michigan State defense, not just physically, but mentally. They've been under siege most of this ball game because of the number of 3rd down conversions that Northwestern has had. That really saps you, Wayne, because you think you've got them, oh, they got out of it again. And that's a big emotional roller coaster to ride, and Michigan State's been on it all day.
It is 2nd down and about 8 yards to go, a little bit less than 8 for Northwestern. Roberson to the outside, inside the 25, near the 24-yard line. And once again, Nehemiah Warwick on the tackle along with Greg Jones. And Charles, the other, to kind of amplify what you just said, it has been a hot 80-some degree, humid afternoon.
Northwestern, their 2nd timeout, a 30-second timeout.
Northwestern, 1 timeout remaining. We even had a shower at halftime. That tells you something about the humidity these kids are playing in here today. And you're right, the defense has, on both sides, have been taxed to the max.
And now with Northwestern having 1 timeout left in their pocket, 21 seconds to go, I believe, 27 seconds on the clock. All you want to know is where does my kicker want to kick it from? That's where you want to run your next play.
Cooper Tires, big stop of the game. Let's take a look at it, Charles.
Yeah, it came on a kickoff here in the 2nd half. They actually to start the 2nd half. Roderick Jenrette. Ooh. Yeah, you heard the crowd.
I think that's going to leave a mark.
I'd say just a little bit. Trainer.
Yes.
Trainer. But you know something? There have been hits like that all day long, and Northwestern has answered every single time.
Villarreal's long is 49. And again, he is well within range here. So I think you're right. You're just trying to wind this thing down for the final seconds.
Move it to the middle of the field. On defense, you're trying to tackle the football as well as the man to try and knock something free. Running back, 2 hands on the ball. Don't worry about yardage.
And again, Omar Conte gets a 1st down straight ahead inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line of Michigan State. Greg Jones brings him down. Pickup of about 5 or 6 yards, and now
the only downside is the clock actually stopped on the first down.
Yeah.
But now they'll wind it, and if you're Northwestern on 1st down, you let it go down to probably a little bit under 10 seconds because just in case something goes wrong, you want another opportunity to kick the football.
That's going to
tell him Gerald says he just wants 1 opportunity. He doesn't care about a fumbled snap. He wants 1 shot at it, and 1 shot only.
Northwestern.
You're looking at about, what do you think,
Final
Charles?
timeout.
Ball's on the
19,
7 yards. That puts the ball at the 26,
37-yard field goal attempt.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. That should be well within range.
But again, in a similar circumstance, just a few minutes ago, Villarreal's holder, Kyle Daly, was unable to get the snap down. And on the That was a missed opportunity right there for Northwestern that we thought might cost them the game, but
well, I think
here they are right back.
I think I read in my notes that Armando Villarreal just was placed on scholarship.
Yes, he was.
He earned a scholarship with his play. And I believe Kyle Daly has been put on scholarship this fall also. So right now, the coach said, look, you're on scholarship.
Yeah.
All right. This is showtime now.
Here's the last one. See,
it was a nice snap.
Fine,
he just didn't handle it. He did the right thing on the fire, trying to get outside but unable to complete it. But here's his opportunity to make amends, and Villarreal has not missed all year long.
Phil Bruder on the snap. Kyle Daly the holder. Villarreal from 36 yards out to win it. No good. No good. He pulled it to the left. His first miss of the season. Overtime coming up in East Lansing. Mark D'Antonio's reaction on the Michigan State side. Pat Fitzgerald for Northwestern. You can tell their hearts are racing. Tied at 41. We go to an extra session.
Big Ten football.
Wayne Larrabee, Charles Davis, Carissa Thompson, the coin toss to start overtime.
Snaps good, holds good, just pulled the kick.
Villarreal's first miss of the season. It's not finished yet for Pat Fitzgerald and Northwestern. There's the overtime rules. Coin toss. You just saw that. Each team gets a possession to the opponent's 25-yard line. Team retains the ball until it scores or fails to make a first down.
And both teams have to get a shot at it. You know, it's not sudden death. So both teams must get a possession before a winner can actually be determined.
First down for Northwestern. Bechet threw it behind contact. Didn't have much there, being pressured up front by St. Deke and Kershaw. And then Caleb Thornhill had the receiver well covered.
We haven't had a whole lot of defense today, but all the pressure shifts to the defenses in overtime because as a general rule, the game starts with the offense in field goal position.
Second down. Bechet over the middle. He's got Ward inside the 15, down near the 12-yard line of Michigan State. First down, 13-yard gain. Eric Gordon, Travis Key on the stop.
Watch Bechet in the pocket, cool and collected, and again, clean in the pocket, meaning he's able to step into his throws. There's not enough pressure in his face to make him alter anything. And Rasheed Ward comes free underneath, loves to work the slot, fearless in there. And Northwestern, another first down on the 12-yard line.
And again, they spread him out. On 1st and 10, Bechet under some pressure, lets it go over the middle. Touchdown, Conte! Omar Conte on a beautiful little float pass over the middle by C.J. Bechet with pressure bearing down on him.
Is that the second touchdown we've seen today that a Northwestern receiver appears to have taken it away from a Michigan State defender?
Time out for an injured player.
Look at this ball. See, Gordon flashes right in front of him, has an opportunity to make a play on the ball, doesn't get it done, and Omar Conte focuses and catches it for a touchdown in overtime.
Meanwhile, got an injured Northwestern Wildcat down in the end zone.
Is that Omar Conte?
It looks like Omar Conte, yes.
You've alluded to the heat and the humidity. That looks, see how she's pressing on his foot, deflects it. That's a calf cramp. Yeah, I don't have to be a doctor here. I'm not speculating.
You don't play doctor on TV, you mean?
No, that is actual experience.
Yes.
Okay? That's a cramp.
That's it. Yeah, and they brought the sport drink over to.
He's earned it today. I mean, there's a reason that he's cramping up at this point. That's a big day. Look at the all-purpose yards, 149.
We talked about it. He would have to step up along with Roberson. In the absence of Tyrell Sutton, who's been down with an ankle injury for the better part of a month.
Now the all-important extra point. All-important extra point. We've seen a lot of things happen in the kicking game today, haven't we? Nothing's automatic at this stage.
This is not automatic. We've seen kicks blocked, missed. The snap is handled. The kick is up. It is good. Now it's Michigan State's turn to answer.
And remember, we're not there yet, but starting with the third overtime, the kicking part of it goes out of it after a touchdown.
Now you have to go for two. Yep.
So we're not at that stage yet.
This is just the first overtime.
We're still in the first one, but starting with the third overtime, if you score a touchdown, you have to go for two.
Part of the process for that man, Pat Fitzgerald in Northwestern. Learn how to win, learn how to finish games. For that man right there, coming off their first loss of the season, we told you, we documented what has happened to Michigan State over the last 2 seasons after their first loss. They're trying to put an end to that right now.
And it's actually been longer than the last 2 seasons, but the last 2 seasons really shows it in terms of numbers.
Hoyer on 1st and 10, going over the top, got a man wide open, not able to hang on, incomplete. Down near the 1-yard line, a pass intended for Kellen Davis. This looked like it came up just a bit short, Charles.
I think so, and he might have waited a count too long to try and get him the football because he wanted him to clear the linebacker in the flat. So in a sense, he's like, I'm going to let him clear, and he threw it and let him just a little bit too much instead of just going ahead and sticking it right in there and having that opportunity.
It has been a roller coaster afternoon. Big plays both ways. And we are in overtime. Northwestern converted on a touchdown on its possession. Michigan State trying to answer to force a second overtime. 2nd and 10. Hoyer, lots of time. To the end zone for Thomas. Overshot everybody out of play. McManus had it pretty well covered. And it's 3rd down for Michigan State. 3rd and 10. Remember, again, they have to score a touchdown and at least make the extra point.
But remember this also, they don't have to score a touchdown the next 2 plays.
No.
They have to get a 1st down. So the play calling is a little bit different. Right now you're thinking, oh, it's a desperate situation. Make it manageable because you're going for it on 4th down.
Not as desperate as you might, as it would be during the regular course of the game.
Exactly. Make it manageable because you're definitely going for it on 4th down.
3rd down and 10, Michigan State. Ringer, the tail of the tandem, and he goes in motion. Hoyer to the air, looking, still waiting. He's going to be hit, gets away from a sack attempt. Hoyer's going to take it and throws the end zone, overshot his man out of play. Trying to get it to Mark Dell, his 6'2" receiver in the corner of the end zone. And sometimes when you're running that way and you let it go, there's the momentum just carries that pass on you.
And it's hard, but right here, he does a great job eluding the sack by Ngeni. But now, go. Use your legs.
Timeout. Michigan State.
See, Brian Hoyer is not known as a runner, but he would have been in space one-on-one with a linebacker. An athletic quarterback, and he does have some athletic ability. I take my chances there rather than that difficult throw and bring up my 4th down if I don't get it.
Charles, even if you don't get the 1st down, you probably picked up 6-7 yards, and then you got 4th down and 3 instead of 4th and 10.
What we were talking about, you need a play to make it manageable on 4th down. One of the few mistakes that I've seen Brian Hoyer make today.
So tempting for the quarterback. He sees his man uncovered for just a moment.
But he's
I can get it right now.
He's rolling to his left. He's a right-handed thrower. He's throwing back against his body. You talked about the momentum. So many things. But, you know, we're putting a lot on Brian Hoyer right there. He's trying to make a play. Bottom line, he's trying to make a play to help his ball club. It's easy for me. I'm standing here watching it after the fact.
So they have been pressed to one last play to either get a touchdown or, more important, probably to just pick up 10 yards and get a 1st down and keep this possession alive.
So your offensive line now has to be prepared for some type of pressure. Don't just expect Northwestern to just drop everyone. They may not do that. They may decide we don't want Brian Hoyer to have a lot of time to throw it. They may try and heat him up and have it coming out of a 3-down lineman look.
Thomas is in the slot at the top of your screen. Dell down below. Northwestern showing blitz. They picked it up nicely. Pass over the top. Incomplete. Sailed out of bounds. And that's it. The Northwestern Wildcats in overtime have defeated the Michigan State Spartans 48-41. What a huge win for Pat Fitzgerald's program. And a difficult setback for Michigan State and Mark D'Antonio, their head coach.
And they decided to throw it to a freshman side who stopped his route on this play. Wasn't sure whether he should cut it off short or take it deep. And when he threw it deep, it was too late. True freshman Mark Dell, he'll learn.
The 3-game losing streak is over for Northwestern. For Michigan State, they've now lost 2 in a row to start conference season.
And as important as it was for Michigan State to try and win, it's important for Northwestern to stop a 3-game slide.
That's it from Spartan Stadium. Let's head to Chicago and Dave Repson.
Coming up on Michigan Replay, the Wolverines notch their 4th straight win as they handle non-conference foe Eastern Michigan. We'll have the highlights. We'll also meet a young man who's been challenged his entire career and has flourished through it all. And we'll look ahead as we scout Pass Happy Purdue, Michigan's next conference test. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Abso Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. By Sirius Satellite Radio. By the University of Michigan Alumni Association, uniting the leaders in best. www.umalumni.com. By State Farm, providing insurance and financial services. By AT&T, for a behind-the-scenes look at sports, visit attblueroom.com/sports. And by Powered by Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA.
Welcome to Michigan Replay, everybody. The Wolverines had Eastern Michigan on Saturday, came away with a 33-22 victory in Ann Arbor on a sizzler. I thought, this is October. I figured that was hot down there.
I'll tell you one thing. If there's been a hotter October day, I don't remember.
But it was a big, big victory for your team. And maybe some people out there are not sure about the score, think it's close. You had 10 players on your 2-deep that didn't dress. That's
Jim,
remarkable.
Well, Jim, I don't remember a team that went into a game with that many guys who were starters and one backup, Brandon Miner. So we talked all week about you have to prove you can play when you're not at full strength, and that means a lot of guys that normally don't get opportunities to play get to play, and it's important that they come out and perform well, and I think that happens some.
Overall, in this game, I think you got good experience, and the young kids, when asked, stepped up.
Well, there's no question we moved Steve Schilling to guard and started a young guy, Mark Ortman, and early in the game, we get a big turnover defensively. Morgan Trent made a wonderful play there and gets the ball deflected. Jamar Adams comes up with an interception, and we got great field position.
But here's the next play. You get down to the goal line, and again, the inexperience or the change of position causes a problem in pass play.
Well, on a 3rd down play, we get beat. Our guard gets beat inside there, and now we're forced to take a field goal.
But that's a tackle playing guard once again.
Yeah, and it's a very different position. I thought Steve got much better as the game went on. And Casey Lapata came in and kicked a field goal.
Made a change at the field goal thing, and Casey did a nice job.
Yes, he did. I'm sure he felt a lot of pressure, and he handled it very well.
They kicked the ball down in here to the 1-yard line, and this really looked like, because you're just leading 3-0 at this point. They got field position, and I thought this was the biggest drive of the game.
Well, we ran the ball very effectively, and Mike Hart had another big day, but to come out of the shadows of your own goal line and run 20 yards on 1st down get you some decent field position.
And this is Mike's run that breaks the all-time individual rushing record at Michigan.
Well, it was kind of a typical Mike Hart run there.
He didn't get it cheap, did he?
No, he didn't, and he didn't get many yards cheap in his career here. But what a great achievement, and it says a lot for the guys that have played in front of him.
And Chad Henne looked real good in this game, too, after, again, just getting a limited action a week ago, comes in, makes a nice throw here to Arrington.
I think he's throwing the ball extremely well, very accurate, and Adrian Arrington is having just really a sensational year. Makes a great catch here for out-jumping the defender, and we put together there a 99-yard drive.
It gets you up 10-0, things going your way, and then the one thing you don't want to see happens.
Well, Jim, one of the things when you have a lot of guys out, it doesn't impact your special teams, but here we don't leverage the ball. We let the ball outside the defense here. We had a young kid, Troy Woolfolk. You remember his dad?
I sure do.
And
he might be faster than his dad.
He
huh?
can run. I know he could beat his dad today, but he made a great effort to save a touchdown. And our defense holds, keeps them out of the end zone.
Makes it a 10-3 game at that point. But Eastern's got some confidence at that point. Then you come back, and on 3rd and 10, Chan makes a big play.
Well, this is a great, he threads the needle there, and Adrian made a great catch on a ball thrown behind him. He's made a lot of those catches throughout the year.
Looks like another touchdown drive, and then this happens.
Well, just as he threw the ball, Chad got hit there. And again, we had some protection problems in that first half. So instead of maybe getting some points on the board, we give Eastern the ball.
Then the defense comes out. Big sack by Tim Jamison.
Well, I think, we're getting better. Our front four the last 4 games, Jim, they've really come to play, and they did a great job in this game.
And here comes Mike Hart again.
Well, running off tackle here behind Ortman
and that's the new side of the line.
Well, Ortman and Schilling, yeah, and so we had 4 guys out today in our offensive line. Hopefully somebody will get back. And here a young freshman, Junior Hemingway, makes a big play for us.
Then you do a great job here against the blitz. Mike reads it well and gets down inside the red zone.
Well, we ran right into the zone blitz there, and Mike hit a crease. It was a well-executed play.
And talked about Mike's vision. This play is about as good as it gets.
Well, right there, the whole inside is plugged up. They're coming down, and he just has the vision and the ability to jump around it and get outside and get into the end zone.
And then another problem happens. You're ready to kick the extra point, and they get a guy through to block it, and they return it for 2 points.
Well, that's the kicking. 2 plays in the kicking game in that first half gave them 5 points. So other than that, our defense played well, but we did have a problem there with good. Their guy made a great play there.
16-5. Then of course they get the ball. And they put a drive together right before the half.
Well, they get a screen there, and we miss a tackle. He bled us a little bit. We did react pretty well to that play, though. Here, Morgan Trent makes a great play at diagnosing the bubble screen, what we refer to it as. And then they kick a field goal here to go into the half 16-8. And offensively, we missed a couple opportunities. But the biggest disappointment in that half, Jim, was in the kicking game.
Yeah. When you go off at half 16-8, and everybody's expecting it to be much bigger, and you've moved the ball pretty well. You've got some decent yardage. Where do you talk to the kids when you get in there at half?
Well, we just talked about shoring up our kickoff team. You can't give them that kind of field position. And doing a better job in protection. We were running the football very effectively, and our defense was playing well.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at that second half from the big house. But first, we hear from Obi Eze, who says the defense must get working earlier.
It's just a process with us. We're trying to come out and get off to a fast start, but I mean, we're gonna work on it in practice. But we haven't been able to do what we want to do in the first half, and we seem to have to come back in and tell people to step things up in the locker room. And I mean, we just need to get an attitude to go out and play 60 minutes of football.
Michigan Replay and Al Rose Steele take you inside the locker room.
It's different, I had to adjust in practice this week, but there's a lot of similarities as far as the zone blocking from tackling the guard. It's a little different technique-wise as far as pass pro, but, Coach Miller was trying to teach me this week, and so, I think I was able to do it in practice and try to put it together in the game.
Halftime of the Eastern Michigan game on Saturday, Michigan had the 16-8 lead. Now, you open up the second half, you deferred to get the ball. Well, then Eastern pulls a fast one on you, but you loved the call, didn't you?
Well, I think Jeff Jenick, you're in the game, and he made a call that really gave his team a chance to be successful. They executed the onside kick, and now they put a drive together. Here, great defensive play. We get two guys with their hands on the ball, but some way they found a way to complete it for a first down.
Then here's what the problem was later. You let the quarterback get out of contain.
Well, we had a stunt on it where our outside guy's coming inside. We got an inside guy that's got to come out and contain. We were a little bit slow getting out. That kept the drive alive. And here they execute the quarterback keeper. And the quarterback, Schmidt, made a good play for the touchdown. And we get a penalty here after the play, so now they got the kickoff from the 45-yard line.
Well, you blocked their extra point, so it's a 16-14 game. And this drive, to me, I think typified what this offense can do and under pressure, because Chad opens up, hits Arrington here, then he completes another one to Arrington. This third down throw.
Well, these are two excellent throws. And Jim, there's no doubt at this stage, the game's 16-14. He goes to Arrington twice for big first downs.
And then Mike Hart. This is just Mike Hart, isn't it?
Well, you talk about a back in today's football, he's got to be able to make a safety miss because the guys almost never block. And Mike made a great move there, cut back, and got us a touchdown.
Here he is again. He's something.
Yes, he is.
This is 61 yards.
61 yards. We got a young freshman there out in front, Tony Clemens, who got some playing time today, and trying to make a block, but great field position here.
You don't get in, but Olopata hits a field goal, gives you a little bit more breathing room at 26-14. And then they make a big mistake on special teams.
Well, I think this probably is a bigger play as we had in the game because Brian doesn't hit it real good, and that ball bounces around, and sometimes you get the bounce of the ball. And this kid, Rogers, has really made a contribution for us on special teams.
First play after the fumble?
Well, the ball goes back behind the nose guard, and there he is making another safety miss. And we got a 33-14 lead at the end of the fourth quarter, and we got an opportunity in the fourth quarter to play a lot of young players, and we needed to do it because it was hot, and we needed to get some guys off the field, and it was good to get some younger guys some experience.
Yep, they make a late touchdown, make it 33-22. The one thing I wanted to tell you, go back to the highlights, never forget sitting around with you and Mo one night, and Mo was talking about, well, who blocks the safety? And Mo said, the running back.
Yep.
And that's what Mike Hart does. He's got to make the unblocked guy miss.
No doubt. And when they bring the eighth guy down, same thing, except he's much closer to the line of scrimmage. And if you look at Mike Hart down through his career, it's unbelievable what a lot of great runs he's had.
After the game, again, we talked a little bit about this, and you addressed it in your post-game press conference. People think when they see the score, well, Michigan didn't do this, didn't do that. But you addressed it really well. You've got a lot of guys out. This was a very difficult game against a team that was fired up to play you, and you didn't have all your personnel.
Well, Jim, and I tried to tell our team this week, when you're going to hit some adversity during a season, and in this particular case, most of those were injuries where guys couldn't play, and the test of a team is how well you play when you're not at full strength. And certainly we were not at full strength. Eastern is a much improved football team. I think Jeff Jenick has done a wonderful job there. So we take a lot of positives out of this game. you can't get wrapped up in all the other things.
No matter how they slice it, that's a good win. When we come back, we'll meet Adam Krause up close and personal. But first, we hear from Mike Hart, Michigan's newest all-time leading rusher.
You never expect to get to this kind of level, to be the #1 back in rushing. But it's something that you work hard for. That's when offseason comes in. I work hard for it, so I deserve it. Like I said, the last 4 lines that blocked for me have done a great job, and it's their record too.
Now, the Pontiac Performance Play of the Game.
First down at the 17. Mike Hart with a handoff. Big hole right side. 15 to the 10. Oh, what a shake and bake move. He leaves the safety. Ryan Downard on the ground at the 5 and goes in for a Michigan touchdown. Mike Hart's 3rd score of the game. Just like that. 32-14 Michigan.
Adam Krause has been a mainstay in the Wolverines' offensive line for most of his career at Michigan, but it didn't start out that way. You see, when Adam arrived in Ann Arbor, he was bound and determined to play tight end. But the idea of playing regularly and quickly was too much to resist, so he moved inside.
After my freshman year, after the bowl game, and coach called me up and he was like, "What do you think about moving to offensive line?" And I said, he said, "You'll be in the 2 deep your first year there." And, really, I just wanted to play. I just wanted to get on the field. So they got me here saying that I was going to play tight end. But, by the time I was here, it really didn't matter. And I just wanted to get on the field and help the team wherever I could. It couldn't have been a better decision that the coaches and I made. I think it worked out to the best. And, I've had a wonderful career, and I love everything about the move and playing O-line for Michigan, and I'm really proud.
During his years at Michigan, Adams experienced a lot. He's visited Israel, the land of his faith, on a student tour. He's had to stay in Ann Arbor and watch from afar as his home in New Orleans and his family were devastated by Hurricane Katrina. There was his position change, and now he's still working through his team's early season struggles. He's been through more than most his age, but don't think for a second that Adam Krause won't fight back.
We're going through some adversity right now, but, these next few weeks are going to show what this team's really made of. If we can bounce back and, do a good job. A lot of teams would just tank it, but, that's not how Michigan does it, and I'm going to, do my damnedest to make sure that we don't end up like that.
Hart running left, following the pile. Now bounces it outside. Nobody home. Touchdown, Michigan.
I try not to let it get to me. I don't know if I'm hardened. I don't know about that, but I know that I have another day to live and I have another day to go out and fight, and that's all I can ask for. And that's what I look forward to, is the next day and or the present, and and getting better on what do I have to do.
He's a great kid. I just love listening to a guy like that. He says, "I want to get better each day." You got to love him, don't you?
But I want to respond.
Okay, you respond.
Yeah, his dad,
you have now. This is your.
Well, during the recruiting process, a lot of people were recruiting Adam as an offensive lineman, and we promised him an opportunity to play tight end. But his dad, I think, knew, and he kept talking to me about, well, do you see him moving in there? And the biggest thing was opportunity to play, because he's a good athlete. But when I think about him, he and Jake Long, 2 kids, they're going to be friends for the best friends.
They will.
They end up playing side by side, left guard and left tackle, and it's a wonderful friendship and a wonderful story.
Well, he's a great kid. When we come back, we'll look ahead to Purdue, but first we hear from Junior Hemingway, a freshman who knows what lies ahead.
We coming to work now. I mean, the team, we gonna focus next week, and we can come in hard because we know it's the chase for the ring now. So we got to come in playing for 60 minutes, our whole game. So we got to come in playing, and the team we focused enough to know, and we gonna come out here and do it.
Michigan Replay and Alro Steel take you inside the locker room.
that's a great offense. We know it's going to be a great offense. They're going to be excited to come in here. We haven't played them in a while, so they haven't been here in a while. So it's going to be exciting. We got to have a great week of practice.
Well, what starts up next week is the tough part of Michigan's schedule, and you open. You get Purdue. You're back into the Big Ten schedule, and Purdue is one of those teams that is a potent offensive football team.
Well, they've been that way for many years, and of course Joe Tiller really brought a version of the spread offense. Joe's done a great job at Purdue. He's a great coach. He's got a great quarterback.
Well, that's what I mean. What is it about Purdue? They get great quarterbacks all over the place.
They've had a ton of them down through the years, Jim. And
Curtis Payne.
Well, he's 6'4". 223-pound senior. This is a senior-dominated team. Corey Sheets,
great running back.
I like him a lot. I think he's one of the better backs in the Big Ten, and a guy that is tough, and they get him the ball a lot of different ways.
And Dorian Bryant, another veteran receiver.
Well, he's an outstanding receiver. Many people think he'll be a first-team All-American by the end of the season.
Defensively, they're led by Cliff Averill, defensive end. Outside linebacker Stanford Kegler is one of their best tacklers. And then Terrell Vinson, cornerback, again, veteran senior corner. So this is a team that's got experience.
Well, there's no question. And they're a team that has an ability to possess the football because of the kind of running attack they have. And, of course, with Painter, big play potential because Brian is a great receiver.
Now, the thing about this game, too, is it's almost one of those deals where you don't know until Monday or Tuesday of this week who you're going to get back to play them.
Yeah, and the good news is, Jim, Obi Azay, talked earlier, has stepped in and started at middle linebacker the last 2 weeks and done it. This guy is going to be really an outstanding player. And we've got a number of other guys that have gained some experience, gained some confidence, and now really what we hope to do is put this thing together and become the kind of team we're capable of being.
In a game like this, is the key pressure on Painter? It's tough because they make so many quick throws.
Well, I think you have to. We're going to have to score some points. I think you start with that, but certainly we've got to put pressure on him because if you don't, you're already spread out. And when you spread out and you don't put pressure on a quarterback, it's easy. But they make it more difficult because they do have an outstanding back.
And they also have a more conventional run game, too. They aren't just the spread all the time.
No. I wouldn't really call them a spread as much as maybe as they've been some in the past. But they are an explosive offensive football team.
It's going to be a beauty, and make sure you join us. We will look at all of it next week, right here, same time, same place, on Michigan Replay.
Michigan Replay has been brought to you in part by Mountain Dew. Do something different. Do the do. By Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA. By the University of Michigan Health System, working together. That's the Michigan difference. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? By Big Boy Restaurants. Big Boy, it's a Michigan thing. And by TCF Bank. For all your banking needs, all you need is a little TCF.